There was a Yoruba meeting of elders called the Yoruba Leaders of Thought. We relented. The thing continued. Yoruba has continued to lose ground since that time. In 1993, there was the annulment of the June 12 election. Shiju Adele, the former OLAYOMI, spoke and said Yoruba should go ahead and conduct an election. We did. It led to nothing. The same thing happened in 1998, just before the handover to the democratic elected government. Yoruba did not want to go for anything like Nigeria again. But then it failed. Look at where we are. Yoruba has been losing ground since 1914. And we are just tired. We are there for restructuring. It's too late for restructuring in Nigeria. It's too late for sovereign national conference. It's too late for resource control. What we want now is Oduduwa Republic. And we are very categorical about that. We have made that very clear. We have made declarations. And we are very serious about our demands. Every region just go to its own tent. Yoruba wants to be on its own because the problem that Yoruba has is Nigeria. Nigeria is the problem. It's impediment to Yoruba development. It's the impediment to Yoruba development. Without Nigeria, we would be where we are. 1962, we were far ahead of South Korea and North Korea. We were far ahead of China even. We had television before France. We had radio before South Africa. Well, look at where we are today. I think it's a shame that even any Yoruba man can be talking about restructuring at this point in time. What are we restructuring? This country that is already shot to pieces? I don't think that's what we want. But they are always talking about giving Nigeria a chance. The patience of Yoruba with Nigeria has come to an end. It's very clear. We made a declaration saying that it's too late for restructuring in Nigeria. You remember in 1962, there was a massive problem in Nigeria when Awolowo was arrested. Our people talked to us. There was crisis for over 4 years that led to the coup. There was a Yoruba meeting of elders called the Yoruba Leaders of Thought. We relented. The thing continued. Yoruba has continued to lose ground since that time. In 1993, there was the annulment of the June 12 election. Shiju Adele, the former OLAYOMI, spoke and said Yoruba should go ahead and conduct an election. We did. It led to nothing. The same thing happened in 1998, just before the handover to the democratic elected government. Yoruba did not want to go for anything like Nigeria again. But then it failed. Look at where we are. Yoruba has been losing ground since 1914. And we are just tired. We are there for restructuring. It's too late for restructuring in Nigeria. It's too late for sovereign national conference. It's too late for resource control. What we want now is Oduduwa Republic. And we are very categorical about that. We have made that very clear. We have made declarations. And we are very serious about our demands. Every region just go to its own tent. Yoruba wants to be on its own because the problem that Yoruba has is Nigeria. Nigeria is the problem, is the impediment to Yoruba development. It's the impediment to Yoruba development. Without Nigeria, we would be where we are. 1962, we were far ahead of South Korea and North Korea. We were far ahead of China even. We had television before France. We had radio before South Africa. Well, look at where we are today. I think it's a shame that even any Yoruba man can be talking about restructuring at this point in time. What are we restructuring? This country that is already shot to pieces? I don't think that's what we want. But they are always talking about giving Nigeria a chance. The patience of Yoruba with Nigeria has come to an end.
Wow, and a very good evening and a welcome to my late night broadcast. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI. Mo kí gbogbo wa pé ẹ káalẹ́ àtúnkàbọ̀ sórí ètò tiwantiwa. As we prepare the program, please do share. That is the only job that you have. Like the video, invite your friends, and let people know that we are live again on this platform. As we always say all the time, there's a lot to discuss. There's a lot of information to share. There's a lot to catch up with, especially days that we are not live. So it is important that about so that more people do know that we are live on our platform. As we prepare the program, also, I'd like to appreciate all our viewers, our listeners, and also our friends and families that are back home in Nigeria. Moki Bugwale can say, I'm still setting up. I'm just about a few more minutes. We still need your support and assistance so that we can be able to have our platforms all in one go. But till then, we will continue to use the little resources that we have, to try and bring the broadcast as close to you. So you're going to have to bear with us. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done. We're trying our best. Moki gbogbo ọmọ Yoruba lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé kalẹ̀ èní the 25th day of the month of January. So as we prepare the program, it's 7 minutes past 11 p.m. local time in London. I'm transmitting from London, as many of you are aware. I always like to put the date and the time because the future will be able to remember that these videos were done in London, and these videos are all videos that we produce, as at the time that the Yoruba people are yearning for the quest of the self-determination. Self-determination is not a crime. Please do not let anybody, tell us that it is a crime. It is not a crime. It is our right. It is our fundamental right. Even though United Nations and all these world organization bodies might not literally, work in our direction, we still have to continue to say that it is a peaceful movement. It is not a violent movement, and it will remain so as it is. Please do invite your friends, and let us first appreciate Oloye Igbowo, as we do all the time, by playing these before we go into the program tonight. Once again, a very good evening and welcome to the transmission. As I say, it is the 25th day of the month of January. We're still having problem with one of the platforms, so we're still trying to get that back. Not too sure I had the same problem. I'm going to try the other phone to see if that is going to be. While we're still doing that, please, let us invite others to come and listen as we prepare the program for tonight. Let us listen to this to start with.
Koikimedia, we bring in the world closer to your doorstep. Koikimedia. carry for but they move closer before them to sabi. I said they never know wetin we carry for body. But they move closer before them to sabi. Ọ̀kìn lọ lọ́jà ẹyẹ ni ń lo ló lájú. Ẹyẹ tó torí kodò bí àdó ọ̀pẹ̀jẹ̀ lẹ́nu. Ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ilẹ̀ bàbá wa. Ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ìlú bàbá wa. Ká jùmọ̀ sowọ́pọ̀ ká lè gbódúdú àga. Odùduwà kò bá lè gbé wá. Ọmọ Odùduwà ṣe kiri. Ẹ dìde fún ẹ̀kọ́ adúláwọ̀. Ká lè jọ jùmọ̀ gbé. Délẹ̀ ìlérí. Àwa lè gba ògo ilẹ̀ wa. Ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká lè jọ gbàdé. Ká lè gbàdé adé adúláwọ̀. Àwa ni mọ̀lẹ́ tí yóò tàn káàkiri. Ìyàwó Odùduwà ni wá. Koikimedia, àwa là ń gbé tó lárugẹ. Ètò tó pọ̀jù ògbó tí wọ́n mọ̀ ní. Kásá, ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà wà kájé gbúgbà yín jẹ. Ètò tó pọ̀jù ògbó tí wọ́n mọ̀ ní. À ń gbé tó lárugẹ, à ń gbàsà lárugẹ. Ètò tó pọ̀jù ògbó tí wọ́n mọ̀ ní. News and sports, ẹ máa rí gbọ́. Ètò tó pọ̀jù ògbó tí wọ́n mọ̀ ní. Ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú alárẹ̀ mi ló ní kí n máa ké tantan. Koikimedia ọ̀rọ̀ lágbájúmọ̀ mi o. Máa bá ṣẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ. Ọmọ Yorùbá nìyẹn, ọmọ Yorùbá tata o. Àrùgbádùn rẹ̀, ọmọ Yorùbá lọ́rẹ̀ mi. Ṣé ìlú ọmọ fìdí bọ̀ ọbẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ o? Ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa dé máa dé máa dé. Ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa wọ̀ máa wọ̀ máa wọ̀. Ikú máa wọ̀ lájòjì ò gbọ́dọ̀ wọ̀. Àjòjì tó bá wọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ á bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní ẹ̀bọ̀ra. Ẹ̀yin máa náwó òyìnbó tó dé. Ìgbà tó yìnbó dé o, owó náà dẹ́ tún pọ̀ sí o. Koikimedia sáwà ní bàbá. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Àdánsọ àtúnpèrègèdè. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Àwa là ń gbé tó lárugẹ jẹ́ ká jọgbọ́ o. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Àkójà fẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ wa fẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Ọmọ Oòduà ni wá o, tọkàntọkàn. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Ikú tí ó ṣe bí lébi òsì, àdìmú bàbá yọ. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. We bring you one closer to your doorstep. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Afẹ́fẹ́ tó ń fẹ́ òòdù kàgé ògo lára ni. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Àpèrègèdè Olódùmarè ló fún wa ṣe. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Gbogbo ayé ẹ gbọ́, àwa ní bàbá o. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Ẹ máa bọ̀ wá ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà ni wá o. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Odùduwà lágbèdá ní òtítọ́ lágbèdá ní. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Àbí sọ̀dálẹ̀, àbí sódìkẹta. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Àgbọ̀tàn, àtọ̀pẹ̀rẹ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Koikimedia we bring you one closer to your doorstep. Àwọn ní bàbá. Koikimedia is around to give us the test. Is around to give us the test. Ladies and gentlemen, ẹ mú kalẹ̀ sílẹ̀, ẹ tẹ́tí ẹ gbọ́ ètò tó gbódùn owó. Ladies and gentlemen, ẹ mú kalẹ̀ sílẹ̀, ẹ tẹ́tí ẹ gbọ́ ètò tó gbódùn owó. Koikimedia is around to give us the test.
And I say good evening and welcome once again. Peter Pan, thank you so much for the super chat. And you end up saying again, salute and keep up the great work. Apologies, I couldn't come out yesterday. I was tired as usual. I just decided to take a break. I almost decided to stay away tonight, but each time I'm not on, my wife also reminds me that I have many people that are waiting to listen to me. And I say, yeah, definitely, yeah, I do know. But I think I'm a little bit okay. I think the Tuesday, uh, the event on Tuesday knocked me out a little bit because of the weather. But I'm doing very well. It's good to be back again. Shout out to my beautiful mom. I spent a few hours with her this afternoon, and as usual, I give her heads up. Shout out to the Koikimedia team. I let them know when I'm live. I don't have a time and a slot. Listen to Mama Jade, like I always say. You can make sure we have our notification button. My platform is being shadow banned. That means that you might not see a notification when I'm live, but you want to join the Mix LR because that would definitely give you the notification bell. Eshegoni Pastor Mo. I'm going to change my TV. I'm watching the BBC, and I'm telling you that whether there will be war or not, but the question on the BBC the program that I should say, the BBC, after the 10 o'clock, the question they're asking is if there's going to be another war, and how do we prepare for that? There's going to be a lot to discuss. I see how my strength, will be able to take it. But I had a good rest, throughout yesterday. I was eating, sleeping, but today I had to visit my mom because of some, important thing. I call it the Thursday market. That was what I was doing, on a Thursday. So, but we've been very, very, busy in the last 3 years. Some of you have seen the snip view of the videos that I posted on the Koikimedia. That is what I do for living, apart from so many things that I've done in the past. In the last 25 years I've lived in this country. Some of them I've not seen them for 3 years. They were so excited to see me because these are my colleagues. Before many of you know me on the social media, these are people that we've worked together with a great integrity. Many of them are excited for the great job I've decided to take on, even though I am not making money like they are doing anymore. I used to sell laptop, computers, different cables, power supply, and so many things. So it's always good when you're in the market. I hardly buy anything brand new because anything brand new might be there. So I'm not going to mention their names, but they might come up with this video, or maybe later on they might see it in the future. So it's great to see everyone. I met someone as well. Are you Koiki? Money, yes. He was so happy. He was so excited. He prayed and prayed for me. And he says, look, I don't think I can do what you're doing. The courage, the strength, he prayed a lot. Then he now told me that I want more Igbowo. I want more Baba. Baba. Igbowo Osha. Osha. De Oshogbo. Money more Igbowo ni beni. Ni odaruko àwọn area yẹn. So, and when people like that, everybody loves Igbowo. So when you see those kind of passion, and what do? It's a privilege, I did a video call to Igbowo, kò pẹ́ méjì, he picked it up. Tí mo gbé video kan yẹn sójú bàbá yẹn báyìí, ó kúnlẹ̀ fún Igbowo ni. I did a screenshot of the video. I'm not going to share it with you. The picture with him and Igbowo, I'm going to share it with him so that he can keep it in his own house. Mo ṣe screenshot, àwọn méjèèjì nígbà tó ń sọ̀rọ̀. He now told us, when nígbà táwọn ti chief jọ ń sọ̀rọ̀, ó ní, chief, ẹran tí ń gbà tẹ́ ń lo Oma Jeep, méjì lẹ́ní. That I'm talking about in the 90s, ẹran tí Oma Jeep yẹn, nǹkan, and he was so happy. So in case you come across this video, I'm just giving you a shout out to you as a person. Thank you so much. And to all my big aunties, my brother, my uncles, I might be away again for some time, and if you see me there, some of them I've not seen them in the last 10 years because so there and there, that is how I spent my day. And then, I spent quality time with my mom. We spent about almost 4 hours together, mother and son talk. Mudukbelo, one of our father that called me while I was there, prayed for me as usual. So Mudukbelo, I'm not a way out of the social media, but Teba follow that I am the one that handle my Twitter, which is also known as X. So Gugun Tiba post a minimum posted officially. Instagram, a minimum post officially until I have my team to take over that as well. So if you are not saying, Koiki Arie, that means follow me on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter like the Biafras are doing, you will know that I'm live all the time. African Confidential, shout out to you, you're doing very well. Let's play the anthem. I will welcome as many of you, and I will say tonight is all about the Constitution, the 1999 Constitution. But like I said, I had a great day off. So if you think about Los Ibiche, I need day off. I need day off now. Kill a man for day off. Ìgbà ilẹ̀ ẹlòmíì máa lọ ra oúnjẹ ní Dustin, á sún oúnjẹ rẹpẹtẹ sílé, ẹlòmíì á ṣe exercise, ẹlòmíì á kàwé, ẹlòmíì á reflect. So many things. Mo kí family mi dáadáa, without them, I cannot do what I'm doing. So, I just have to appreciate them as much as possible. Once again, knife crime in UK is a big problem. Many of our Loja, before I play the anthem, one of the mothers said to me, Koiki, Monton Shefumi, I have spent millions of pounds sterling. Well, yeah, sending goods to Nigeria, but I could do it for long. Maybe we should have invested the money here, because these are people that send 40-foot container to Nigeria. And I'm not talking about 140 foot. Sometimes one send the meta at the same time. But as it is, the economy of Nigeria, even to told you 200 million, to show over politics, your own personal sweat, to be 200 million or 500 million sínú naira account in the last 8 years. Nígbà tí Buhari wà níbẹ̀. Kódà tó bá máa fi tó time yìí tó ìtí gbowó yẹn jáde láti invest ẹ̀sìn kan míì away from Nigeria. O lè má rí 10 kọ́bọ̀ mú jáde nínú Nigeria. Kò ń ṣẹjọ́ yín, is the economy, and it is the problem that has been existing for some time. But we all live in denial. And we invest sílé. We did that, but we never got a return. Kò mí pé má lọ invest sílé o, but might expect any return in the next decade if we do not break away from Nigeria. So shout out to you. Please share the program and invite your friends and family. We've spent 23 minutes as an intro. Now let's play the anthem. Please share the program and invite your friends and family. We've spent 23 as an intro. Now let's play the anthem. Ìgbàgbọ́ kò gbàgbọ́ ìgbẹ́ àti bẹ̀rù ọmọ àṣìṣe ìkọ̀kú ìkẹ̀jẹ́ àṣewájú. Every time, many people wants to know what I want to talk about, especially when I go away for like a couple of days, and it seems by the time I'm coming back, many things have happened. It looks like when I'm off the broadcast for a few days, and I mean literally few days, it looks like many things have happened in Nigeria precisely, but Etimo platform Tiwa, we focus only on Yoruba Nation. Many of you that are waiting for la 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 lo lo lo, you won't get it on this platform. I'm sure you know that by now. You know, this is not a blogging platform. This is not a fracas platform. This platform is monitored by international community. And that is why I tend to be very serious, because from there, it is something that has to do with lives, because in Nigeria lately, even if, and I'm going to speak in English and Yoruba, so even if you're closing your eyes, you can see that there's a lot of problem in Nigeria, problems to Boni. So if you're sitting in the broadcast quietly, and you might think that Bia Menuba Asoro Lori, you will wait for thy kingdom come. My job only is to talk about self-determination, to bring down the Nigeria with my voice, to educate people. I spoke to Professor Banja Kitoye. He has a task that he has given me. The task is to go out there and educate many Yoruba people on the reasons why we need to go out of Nigeria. I'm going to appreciate Matthew Carl again, a journalist. He has done another interview, but this time around, he spoke with Professor Banji Akitoye. I'm going to read that in case you've not seen that article. Many of us, I spoke to a young brother that in Nigeria. It's Ilefe, but I think he's currently in Lagos. And I said, I mean, there's nothing wrong in that. But I did ask the question, so possible ki gbogbo èèyàn rí Tinubu bá sọ̀rọ̀ bí Tinubu ṣe lọ sí France nìsín is away for 2 weeks. Shetima is in charge. Is it possible to just say ẹ fi bá Tinubu sọ̀rọ̀? Àwa gan ta fẹ́ engage Tinubu kò tí fún an appointment, at least as far as I can say. I mean, Baba Kitoye has not confirmed that we have an appointment yet with the government. And we won't meet the government. Look, gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ máa ń sọ pé kí la fẹ́ ṣe pẹ̀lú Tinubu. Look, I am not in that level with you. We are going to be diplomacy, negotiation, and it will also end up the other way around if all that fail. So Teban sọ pé Baba Kitoye ń ṣe pẹ̀lú Tinubu, a fẹ́ engage Tinubu. I mean, ẹ̀yin ò really mọ tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ in terms of the diplomatic world. I am not here to say that diplomatic will give us a Yoruba nation, but we have to exhaust it. So we will have a conversation with Tinubu. We would at some point. It will give us an appointment. We will go and present Yoruba nation to him. But Tinubu nísìn. Tinubu tàná, òun kọ́ ni Tinubu tèmi. Tinubu ti sìn, ó ti di President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Táwa bá ń pè ní Tinubu, I don't care because I don't live in Nigeria. I call Rishi Sunak. Tí bá fi pọ́nlé ni màá ní Prime Minister. So for those that are always like, you get freaked out, pẹ̀lú Baba Kitoye àti Tinubu, look, it's not going to be anything more than, am I engaged Tinubu, okay? Whether you like it or not, Yoruba nation campaigners, and we are not agitators, we would engage President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Bá náà bá Tinubu ṣeré, bá náà bá ṣiṣẹ́, bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣeré nìyẹn. I don't care. But in the real world, I mean, you want to leave a country, you have a present administration, a government in place, and you are going to tell me that you're not going to engage that government at some point. You will. It doesn't matter even if you will take arms and ammunition against the government. Because tobacco bonjadi no ta parawa tija love for a very long time. We will still be told to come to the round table. Tebade was the round table. You will still be told, because Teba Beresinja not that Beresinja. Government now call ammunition to one jade pẹ̀lú soldier at the two fighting. Tobade the two fighting, yellow man dunju, because for now it's only one fighting. Boko Haram the Kolumba Wajanisi. And I don't want us to keep mixing it up. we are not fighting because of terrorism in Nigeria. I think many of us mix that up. Ẹlòmíì ọmọ purpose ta fi ń sọ pé a fẹ́ Yorùbá nation. Fulani ti wọnú gbó. No, it's not about Fulani wọnú gbó. We are fighting for our right. And what is our right? Our right as it used to be before the old colonialism. Two things Baba Kitoye spoke with me today, which is not yet to be shared to the public, in terms of things that we should also be looking into, but it's not for the public consumption right now. But we talked about getting more of the kind of, global awareness, getting more journalists that can come and talk to him, whether from America, UK, Australia, New Zealand, so that we can have better, much more publication about our cause. Because in Tobatimu, journalists talking shetiwa, totimbawa soro, tombawa biri, before you know, it will grow and grow and grow. Because look, even if you want to engage Al Jazeera, they'll tell you they haven't got the time. They're so busy with the Middle East crisis. But Toguma Bere in Nigeria, you'll be surprised that Al Jazeera will switch all their satellite to Nigeria. At the moment, it's not too fighting. Yes, there's terrorism in Nigeria. There's a lot of issues in Nigeria. I listened to Anthony Blinken. Anthony Blinken is the Secretary of State to the United States of America. He has returned to Nigeria and is already out en route to another African country. The interview was conducted by the CEO of Channels Television. So many people say he wanted to take the shining star. Our staff interview Anthony Blinken. Throughout the whole interview, they talked about football. They talked about so many areas. But one thing I can tell us is that until things get hit up before America can talk about the right of the people for self-determination. And what do I mean by that? It could be from maybe a massive people out, and then we have done rallies. And those rallies have not really allowed America to intervene, because they actually stopped the one Tiko Bajek America Loto and Shirali. And that would have been the one in Lagos State. So the fear that we are not going to get to Lagos State at some point is a lie. We will still go back to Lagos. We will be there. When, I don't know. But there will still be a rally that will take us back to Lagos, because Lagos is the focus point of Nigeria. Loto, Rally Tashe, which, if we play that again and again, everybody agree that it was a fantastic rally. But this rally was not projected to the world. And so many of us remember this. Many of us remember this very fantastic rally. This rally literally was for the Nigerian politicians. But this rally was not picked up by the global news network. And the reason for that, the rally was held somewhere in a very fantastic Yoruba city, Akure, but it didn't get the global traction. If this same energy came to Lagos State, remember that all the mainstream media and the international media operate between Lagos and Abuja. So Kosibi was any pick on that kind of rally. And even if it's the snip view, global also the CNN, then they will be looking for who are those behind the self-determination for the Yoruba people. We are not secessionists, neither are we what's the other one that they normally call us? Secessionists and separatists. We are the campaigners for Yoruba nation. Ẹ má dá àwọn other ones don't say pé body. We are not running the same race. Let them run their own. We will run our own. Nobody will push us because we are not the same in terms of we didn't start the same way. They started their own. In tó bá wọn ni kọ́kọ́ sórí comment section. In tó bá wọn ni kọ́kọ́ nípa Ìgbòho àtèmi àti gbogbo our campaigners. And I'm talking about mostly the IPOB that are pained, not the Simon Ekpa. I can tell you that. But there are some of them that are pained because Nnamdi Kanu is being held, by the criminal government, and they refuse to release him. It is not our fault. We didn't sell Nnamdi Kanu out. Our only problem here, they should go and deal with that problem within their own cycle. But for them to come and try to rubbish somebody like our own hero, Igboho and Tinubu, let them talk about it. Igboho has every right to say hello to Tinubu, because at the end of the day, that is what we are. We are still Omoluabi. Yoruba nation, and they will tell us, hey, oh yes, we call Tinubu, we criticize him. Some of them will say we have gone quiet. As far as we're concerned, they don't have a Biafra nation as of today. As far as I'm concerned, I haven't seen them saying they have a Biafra nation, but they are still working towards a Biafra nation, because Nigeria is still operating within the Biafra territory, even though 80 to 90% of those in the Biafra side believe in the Biafra government in exile. So don't, Yamo Yoruba, you might get freaked out. Then also there are the people also that they call themselves the Yoruba conservative. As far as I'm concerned, they are Yoruba, but they also create a lot of problem on the social media, especially with the Igbos. And this is where we will come across or talk about the constitution of the federal. My wife is just saying, please now, yeah. This is what it takes when you are operating in the home. I was listening to my brother, in Scotland, my Egun General. It's not easy to operate from the house. It is not easy because the children are sleeping, the neighbors is there. Imagine if I have my own small office, which is called office. If I like scream from now to thy kingdom come, nobody will say, hey. So, but again, because we're all operating from the house, it is very, very difficult. We don't have our studio, which is confined like the Sky, the Jazeera, and again, we Africans, we speak very loud, and the echo travels very fast. So, but please bear with us, like I said. So there are some people that call themselves Yoruba conservative. They create a lot of mess on the social media. They accuse the Igbos accuse the Yoruba, vice versa. They've talked about Nnamdi Kanu. They've talked about, no, not literally Nnamdi Kanu, the lambast Ojukwu, the lambast Babawolowo. Look, what you can read can literally give you heart attack if you're not strong. But people like us, I see all that as distraction. And I'll tell you why. The main reason all this is happening is what the British wanted. Because the British knew from the day one that the Igbo, or the people that call themselves Biafra, or the eastern part as at the time, were not compatible with the Yorubas. The same way they knew that the Yorubas are not compatible with the Hausas. The British knew that. There's evidence to back that. They are very, very conversant with that. But yet, the same British went ahead and merged us all together. And you will now hear, na Agunrosi destroy regional government. Now Babawolowo stopped the war because he gave the Nigerian government some, and everybody come with all kind of different narratives. And I've listened to both sides. And I always say, if the British did not merge us together, Are we going to have regional government in the first place? No. Are we ever going to live together amicably? Maybe yes, but with rules and regulation on how we will live together. That will not mean that we will not do things together, because we are very close in terms of proximity, in terms of our borders, we're sharing borders, just like UK share borders with so many borders around the world. We will then have to decide whether we will fight each other every day, because knowing fully well that they want to take over our land. All these would not have happened. We would never have been in this situation. The reason why we are in this current situation, where they fight each other every day, that is what the British people want, the British government. In terms of any, because I was not alive when the British decided to merge these people that doesn't speak the same language, they don't have the same ideology, they have different meaning to what they think. Because if I say Oloshi now, Oloshi could mean anything in Igbo. It could even be good. But if Igbo say Onyara to me now, it could mean nothing to me, or it could mean something to them against me. So this fighting that we are trying to fight each other every day, if we no dissolve Nigeria, all this fight, go stop. Even if we divide Nigeria, doesn't mean that there will still not be fight, because I will tell you, there is a lot of fight between the Wales and the Scottish against the English. And I'll give you an example. They've completed the COVID inquiries in England. Let me put it that way. I don't want to use London. England. They've started the COVID inquiry in Scotland. 2 different regions. And I was following the Sky News when I was at my mom's house, when Nicola Sturgeon, and I want to get it right the way she said it, because I want to make sure I'm saying it exactly the way she said it. So let's go to Nicola Sturgeon. Scotland. COVID. Yeah. So presently, there's an inquiry going on right now about the UK COVID-19. Nicola Sturgeon was the former Scottish Prime Minister. And this is the good thing about the Western world. It's not like the crazy one in Africa. This is a one that even their last text message will come to public, especially during this kind of inquiries. The former First Minister criticized the Scottish club over a statement issued after 8 players breached COVID-19 rules. That is not the one I need. The one I need is the one that she actually called our own, or the former, and I'm going to put that Boris Johnson. I'm not going to use the full meaning of, because the last time I used it was after the incident to Shell in Ibadan, and my mom really cautioned me on that, that my platform is far bigger than me using the full F word. So I won't use it tonight. Nicola Sturgeon, this is the Independent newspaper. Mr. Femi Kasale, she ṣépè fún Boris, àwọn tí bá mi sọ lédè Yorùbá, wọ́n ní she ṣépè fún Boris Johnson. Nicola Sturgeon called Boris Johnson F-clown over utter incompetency in handling COVID on a WhatsApp review. Ó dàbí kémi máa sọ fún yín nísìnyí pé Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu, ẹ̀mọ̀ báwọn náà ṣe máa ń bú gbogbo àwọn olóṣèlú wa pọ̀, àwọn wèrè, àwọn olórí burúkú, ẹ̀mọ̀ kó tó bá gbà ń sọ ní English ni àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn máa heavy gan, but èdè Yorùbá táwa náà fi ń sọ yẹn èdè tiwa ni, èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì làwọn fi ń bára wọn sọ̀rọ̀ nísìn. Ìdí tá a ṣe ń sọ pé the importance of language is very, very important. Mukialaja Irat Adeyeye, Ekojobi Josi, and Olomba Tekinito Poju. One people, one culture, one language. Now, kí ló dé tẹ́ ṣe rò pé Nicholas Sojourn ń ṣépè fún former Prime Minister Boris Johnson? Mr. Peter Pan also sent another, he said, oh, you have become our member. Wow. That means you don't binu pé Koiki, I go to pay you every month. Thank you so much. Many people are supporting, but we hope that many of you will continue to support. Media needs money. Okay, please. Thank you so much, Peter Pan, for being a member of the Koikimedia. That is on what's on the backup channel. On the Koikimedia, we don't have, since February last year, they've removed my monetization. I pray it comes back because I can make revenue from my advert. But presently, right now, we are struggling to make sure that we can not just look after myself and my wife and my children, but remember, I also have staff and I cannot cut them down because I'm doing Yoruba Nation. I have maintained this staff for a very long time and we can only continue to support them. We still need 5 Okada. So, Entobani Koiki, money fún ẹ lówó, but my Okada yẹn fún ẹ. Ẹ bá dẹ̀ fẹ́ fún wa lówó náà, we will not say, thank you so much, Pastor Moore. Token has been sent to your first bank account. Thank you. And you can do it in Naira as well. So we need 5 Okada, for my team back home. So let's come back to Nicholas Sojourn and Boris Johnson. Kí ló dé tán ṣépè fúnra wọn? Maybe we should read a little bit about it. Scotland former First Minister Nicholas Sojourn called former Prime Minister of United Kingdom Boris Johnson a clown at the time of the second COVID lockdown, bombshell messages have revealed. Sherry, yami kò gbọ́dọ̀ kú, akópalẹ̀mọ́, ẹ ṣé gan ni ìyá dáadáa. Sherry, gbogbo ìgbà tá máa ń sọ fún yín pé clown làwọn politicians, àti tó wà labroad, àti tó wà ní Nàìjíríà, àti tó wà l'Amẹ́ríkà, àti tó wà ní Europe, àti tó wà l'Asia. They are all clowns. And I'll tell you another one again. I think it was Eramileti and Teba follow news and she South Korea and tíyàwó Prime Minister tó gba bag. I think it was South Korea. Ó ti di problem sí ọkọ ẹ̀ lọ́rùn nísìn. Wife of the Mufenoti, I think it was South Korea. Wife of the South Korea bag scandal. South Korea bag scandal. There's another one that happened a few days ago. Bag scandal. I think it's South Korea. Yeah, Mutiri. The Dior Lady bag was given to Kim Cant, wife of President Yoon Suk Yeol in 2022. Yeah. Let's read this. Sherry, until many Nigerians understand that there's nothing we can do to fix. Okay, only if I can no money material line I'll pick another one. The Times newspaper and Imolati Sanwo Kitoka paper. I don't need that. So I gotta look for the one that is free. Let's look at the Daily Telegraph 8 hours ago. Or I can even do routers. Because in tobacco routers confirm confirm news in it. So stage. We always say to Nigerians that you are all living in denial, illusion. You want a better Nigeria. You want a Nigeria that is working. Yet, we cannot even query and ask questions with the people that are leading us. Right there and there's nothing called Nigeria. I've given you Nicholas Sojourn. I'm going to come back to the South Korea. Let me go further with Nicholas Sojourn. WhatsApp messages shared between the ex-SMP leader and a top advisor, Liz Leod, shown at the COVID inquiry, demonstrated the utter disdain with which the then Prime Minister was held. Ms. Sojourn said Mr. Johnson's address announcing a second national lockdown ẹrántí ìgbà COVID ni wọ́n fìyà jẹ yín nílé tí wọ́n lọ stock oúnjẹ ẹrántí gbogbo fídíò yẹn wà nínú backup laptop mi tán tún ṣe. I hope engineer ti ní I might lose everything there but I don't know, but I have a backup for all those videos. So let's hope that our laptop comes back, because if I let anything back or draw video and phone get bunny, hey, it was happening in Jos, it was happening in Osun State. Kódà senator kan àbí House of Reps, woman kan ó fi COVID pack ó fi ṣe birthday party, ó yọ gbogbo pálí, ó wá repackage it. While the COVID was going on as well in UK, Miss Surgeon said Mr. Johnson addressed announcing a second national lockdown on the 31st of October 2022 was excruciating and awful. She told Miss Lloyd his utter incompetence in every sense is now offending me on behalf of politicians everywhere, adding, he is a effing clown. Minister Titana ìyẹn ti Scotland ó ń pe Prime Minister tàná ní effing clown. Mo wá ń bi gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá lálẹ́, ṣé ṣúọ̀ pé Tinubu náà kì í ṣe clown? Clown ni gbogbo wọn látòkè délẹ̀ láti gbà ok wọ́n ṣe clown. Ẹ lọ wo tí Dino ṣe fún yín, Dino Malaye. Imagine if he became the governor of Kogi State. Because the reason why he did not become a governor is because another clown, Yaya Bello, also played on the intelligence of the Kogi people. But àwọn wo ló ń lò? The same set of Nigerians. Now, it is in Nigeria that èèyàn máa jí fùfù before you know what ti dáná sí, parapara ọ̀tẹ̀pá. We don't condone crime. But it is the same Nigeria where politicians steal huge amount of money and wá dẹ̀ tẹ̀ sí lójú. Why? Because there is no constitution that makes sure that they can be sent to prison. But ìwọ tí ó jalè àbí ìwọ tó jalè, they will keep you in the prison and you might not see justice until thy kingdom come. Why? It's because of the constitution. Now, let's move away because I don't want to bore you too much. We're confirming the background of what we call a civilized society. This is a WhatsApp message between two people now revealed to the public. Láti 1999, Obasanjo was there. Till date, àmọ́ tó pa Uncle Bola Ige. Ìjọba tí ká tẹ̀ sọ pé PDP was there for 16 years. Ṣé kò jẹ́ kó probe PDP lórí ikú former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Uncle Bola Ige, that was killed during the tenure of the former president Olusegun Obasanjo? We should have been given every details of what happened. Again, you will never get such because Nigeria is not meant to work. Láyé àtijọ́ ni wọ́n máa gbérù òyìnbó wá tó máa sọ̀rọ̀ bí Anthony Blinken. I'm not going to play the video because I haven't got the time to play it. It's gibberish. Gibberish ni gbogbo tó ń sọ. But if you're one of those Nigerians watching me tonight and you are happy that Anthony Blinken is speaking blah 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 blah, láyé ìgbà kan ló ń lè máa sọ yẹn fún wa. Tó bá tí wà Anthony Blinken tẹ́ bá jọ wọ toilet, ìgbẹ́ tiẹ̀ ó lè máa rùn tó tiẹ̀ because wọ́n jẹ̀jẹ̀ kó jẹ jù àwa gan lọ. Ìgbẹ́ tiẹ̀ ẹ má bínú tẹ́ bá ń jẹun ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń jẹun, ìgbẹ́ tiẹ̀ ó máa rùn ju ìgbẹ́ tiẹ̀ lọ. Èèyàn bíi tiwa ni wọ́n, but they are bloody liars. Ẹ̀yin ò ní mọ̀, èmi lè sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. I don't care because at the end of the day we are journalists and lọ sórí àwọn ìbéèrè tó máa ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún government America, especially with what is going on in Palestine. Wàá rí pé wọ́n lè defend it. They are all liars. Every government around the world, they are bloody liars. So if you're waiting for America through Anthony Blinken to come and tell you that we will have a better Africa, a better Nigeria, we have gone beyond that now. We have gone past that. We're 55 minutes into the program. I'm going to welcome many of you as you're coming in. Let's go now to South Korea. Ṣé mọ̀ pé ní South Korea, any slightest corruption, you are gone. They don't joke with corruption. Corruption in South Korea, corruption in South Korea. Let's Google it first. And let's talk about corruption. Corruption index. Corruption in South Korea is moderate compared to most countries in the Asia Pacific and broader international community. According to Transparency International 2022 Corruption Perception Index, South Korea scored at 63 on a scale of 0, highly corrupt, and 100, very clean. So when we look at, the global corruption barometer, it ranks 31 out of 180 countries where corruption is. In 2022, it scored 63 over 100. According to the Global Corruption Barometer, it scores 55%. Percentage of people who think government corruption is a big problem. 10% percentage of public service users paid a bribe in the previous 12 months. Since its inception in 1995, the Corruption Perception Index, Transparency International flagship research product, has become the leading global indicator of public sector corruption. The index offers an annual snapshot of the relative degree of corruption by ranking countries and territories from all over the globe. In 2012, Transparency International revised the methodology used to construct the index to allow for comparison of scores from one year to the next. Now, let's go and look at Nigeria. Nigeria Corruption Index. Now, let's go again to the same website. Oh my God. Many Nigerians don't know what you're playing with fire. The longer you say you are a Nigerian, we are all playing with fire. I'll give you the Nigerian one. Remember, take note. I told you when you're listening to my program, you must have pen and paper. You must jot something down. Because especially in Yoruba, this is what you will be using. Brother, Nigeria, any meeting. Number one, Omeyo is on the ground. Omeyo is the youth leader. You have Omeyo there. Speak to Omeyo. If Omeyo thinks that he cannot answer all your questions, then you pop up and Omeyo will bring the question up to the next level. I mean, that is not, Baba Kitoye can speak to every one of us in one platform, in one go, through the Yoruba World Media, the home-based media, and the independent media. But Kewa Mani, FA mocking strategy, Baba Kitoye Baba in meeting. Talent Baba Kitoye Baba in meeting. At the Tiwari on Baba Yefi, at Tiwari Igbo nothing. Tigbo Oba Fire Sile for, does that mean that we should just, say, FA Bible meeting? Who the hell are you? Though brother I agree pẹ̀lú mi, money number one, money chetika 35 manual script Baba Kitoye, one àwọn tika, money kọ́kọ́ lọ kà yẹn. The strategy tá ṣe máa gba Yorùbá nation wà nínú ẹ̀. The methodology tá máa fi gbà wà níbẹ̀. The process tá máa fi gbà wà níbẹ̀. Uncle mi kan níbí bá, wọ́n tí mi kí n reveal ẹ̀ délẹ̀, but ó láwọn ìgbésẹ̀ kan táwọn ń gbé personally fúnra wọn ní UK níbí bá. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ní táwọn bá ti ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn débì kan, àwọn àtún consult mi padà, àwọn àfi tó mi létí. Wọ́n ti ṣe àwọn nǹkan yẹn pẹ̀lú mi, bọ́ wọn tí mi kì í sọ síta. In tó yẹ kí gbogbo wa máa ṣe nìyẹn, kò ní ká máa bèrè pé Koiki níbo la bá ṣẹ́ dé? No, níbo lẹ̀yin bá ṣẹ́ dé? Níbo lẹ̀yin bá ṣẹ́ dé? Because everybody has a role to play. Prophet Ológunolúwa, wọ́n ní program pẹ̀lú àwọn youth kìíní, ó likely bí a máa jọ ṣe program lọ́la. Wọ́n ti pè mí ní nǹkan bí 9 UK time. I'll see if I can call him back by the time I finish this program. We're exactly 1 hour into the program. So Emma Mama Biwa pé kí ni ẹ̀yin gbọ́dọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation dé? No. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ìyá mi Pastor Mo. Some of them don't understand protocol. Kàdíkè mi lọ gbégbó wa kó abáyé ṣe meeting. Though by the time tí mo explain fún brother yẹn I'm sure pé wá rí pé yes mo ní èmi ní last man standing mo wá sọ fún wọn mo ní ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nínú group kankan ẹ̀yin lẹ máa bá wa pín mẹ́sẹ̀gì fáwọn tó gbọ́n tá à ń sọ lórí social media èèyàn mẹ́wàá wà nínú group ẹ kàn ju mẹ́sẹ̀gì sínú ẹ̀ ju mẹ́sẹ̀gì ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ bàbàbàbàbà no mo ní àwọn Agége àwọn group àwọn OBJ Aluka Alaja àti Akeem kódà wọ́n tẹ̀ náà máa ṣe program kan ní next week láti fi rántí gbogbo àwọn tó ti ṣaláìsí láàrin ìgbà tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀ Yorùbá Nation látijọ́ tí mo ti mọ̀ wọ́n ọ̀pá meeting jẹ́rí àwọn nìkan ni group tí mo ṣe lè confam mo wá lè sọ bí àwọn míì ṣe tí mo ti mọ̀ as at today o group yẹn nìkan ni mo mọ̀ pé wọ́n ń ṣe meeting physical meeting every week mélòó lẹ́yìn tẹ́ ń ṣe physical meeting look government ò ní ká má ṣe báwọn APC náà ṣe meeting tiwọn èèyàn kankan mú wọn ò ní kẹ́ má ṣe meeting Yorùbá Nation wọn ò ní kẹ́ má jókòó ní anywhere within the Yorùbá land kẹ́nẹ́ ń ṣe ìpàdé Yorùbá Nation kò tí ì sí gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì náà nínú Nàìjíríà tó lè stop ẹ̀ kò tí ì sí because commit a crime but ẹ jókòó sórí WhatsApp à ń ṣe then many of you think that mo wá sọ fún brother yẹn ṣẹ́rí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ máa ń fi pé WhatsApp look it's just a social media it's another form of social media the WhatsApp ẹ ṣe gan ni ìyá mi kò gbọdọ̀ kú wọ́n ní you are very right sir ṣe meeting ẹ wá sórí ẹ wá máa disturb àwa Mr. Koiki ibo la bá ṣe dé ibo lẹ́yìn bá ṣe dé ẹ̀ta wa ni pé ok gbogbo tí mo ti Nàìjíríà wá ẹ mọ̀ pé ti South Korea mo sì mú wa àwa ń ṣe analysis ìdí tí Nàìjíríà ò ní dáa in tó bá ti mọ ẹ̀yin tẹ́ lè gbọ́ program láti Nàìjíríà àwọn tó ò lè gbọ́ program yẹn ẹ̀yin lẹ máa wá lọ ṣe àlàyé fún wọn bọ̀kàn ṣe pé kẹ́wàá máa ní àfẹsẹ̀ meeting pẹ̀lú Ìgbòho bá wa gbé bàbá kí tó yé wa for what reason number one gbogbo àwọn tó wà nílé nísìn ọ̀rọ̀ ebi ń pa wá ni ìyẹn lẹ máa lọ sọ fún wọn pé ìdí tẹ́bí ṣe ń pa ẹni pé Koiki sọ pé corruption index tí Nàìjíríà wà nínú ẹ̀ kò lè bọ́ nínú ẹ̀ àfi tá a bá bọ́lẹ̀ kúrò nínú ẹ̀ kò dẹ̀ ń ṣe torí Fúlàní nìkan la ṣe fẹ́ kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà a gbọ́dọ̀ máa specify ẹ̀ àfi dá dúró gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìran wa ṣe wà tẹ́lẹ̀ because we have been in existence ademakaya interview tí Matthew Carr tó ṣe pẹ̀lú Baba Akintoye he has reached out to Baba Akintoye in Benin Republic an interview has been granted and he has already shared the link with me irú àwọn ìyẹn ló yẹ ká máa share kò ń ṣe bàbá kan ti gbé ìkọ̀kọ̀ wá mẹ́ ìyá kan ti gbé ìkọ̀kọ̀ wá mẹ́ I am not saying that look mo wà lórí mo fi dárúkọ sister yẹn but àwọn tó bá mọ ṣẹpẹtẹ rí mo wà lórí program yẹn lálẹ́ mo ń gbọ́ nǹkan tó ń sọ bó bí ṣe ń gbọ́ nǹkan tó ń sọ yẹn okay for 5-10 minutes ìgbà tó yá mo kúrò lórí ẹ̀ ní kẹ́ má lọ gbọ́ nǹkan mi o but in tó jẹ́ tiwa tó jẹ́ nǹkan tiwa tá à ń sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí ẹ̀yin kan tí bá wa move ẹ̀ kúrò lórí WhatsApp group ó ní WhatsApp yẹn nìkan lẹ́tí ń debate ẹ̀ kò sí federal government ò ní ká má jókòó Yorùbá Nation náà. It is a right. It is our fundamental right. Ní ìjókòó tẹ́ ń jókòó ẹ fi ń dà lóru ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ ní time once ibà àwọn ẹgbẹ́ ẹlẹ́mu kẹ́kẹ́ báyìí wọ́n ń ṣe meeting àwọn old school student association at least èmi ti attend nígbà tí mo lọ Nàìjíríà bí ẹ̀mí ló kan so why are we not moving the meeting to physical meeting gbogbo meeting lẹ fi ṣe lórí Zoom gbogbo meeting lẹ fi ṣe lórí WhatsApp call I mean àwa kọ́kọ́ níṣẹ́ tá a máa jọ bára wa ṣe kò ń ṣe kẹ́kẹ́ mẹ́rin kí ni strategy ni pé we push the message to the locals we push the message to every town and cities that is the job ìyá mi kò gbọ́dọ̀ kú ní even though they have been harassed they still preserve in the having the bí ẹni ẹ bá rántí pé njọ́ kan wọ́n lọ gbé kan ní wọn ní Agége but we work tirelessly wọ́n commit a crime so wọ́n bẹ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀yin brothers mi ẹ̀yin sisters mi let us start this physical meeting at least ẹ pè meeting gbogbo group tó bá lè confirm pé Mr. Koiki intersoi a máa ṣiṣẹ́ lé lórí ní oṣù tó ń bọ̀ àwa ti mú date ẹ mú date ẹ ṣe meeting, ẹ tẹ̀ mọ́ra yín. Kò ń ṣe gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ló máa follow nǹkan tá à ń ṣe. Look, bá pariwo títí di ọ̀la, àwọn tó ń support APC kò sí nǹkan tẹ́ fẹ́ ṣe fún wọn. Àwọn tó ń support PDP, kódà àwọn tó ń support Sowore, àwọn tó ń support Labour Party, kódà àwọn tó ń support anything. But àwa tá ti sọ pé a fẹ́ Yorùbá nation, we must make sure that we stand on our feet. Àìtí gba country o. I'm not going to mention their name, but gbogbo àwọn dagboro tán àwọn ti gba country. Mo tẹ̀ rò pé nígbà tí brother yẹn tẹ̀ pè mí ní South Africa, mo send the link tí Matthew Cal tó kọ́kọ́ ṣe ètò ṣe article tó kọ, mo wá send káàkiri. Luckily mo send sí brother yẹn náà ní South Africa. Wọ́n lè wà lábẹ́ program báyìí, gbogbo náà ló ń gbọ́ mi, gbogbo wọn bá ti lọ gbọ́ tọ̀dọ̀ tí wọn wá ti fi wá compare and tèmi sọ níbi báyìí. Àìtí gba country o. Kò tí sí anywhere in the world pé Yorùbá nation is a country. Gbogbo ẹnu mo fi sọ. Wọ́n mọ̀ wá gẹ́gẹ́ bí empire tẹ́lẹ̀ rí kó tó di pé àwọn amúnisìn dé, but pé a ti gba country, a ti declare country, ẹ̀tùtù ẹ̀dànù is lie. So nígbà tí mo send the message sí brother yẹn, ó dùn mí pé fóònù yẹn mo fi ń ṣe YouTube. N bá ka message yẹn fún yín, mo dẹ̀ fi bọ́lẹ̀ lórí YouTube bẹ́ẹ̀, but màá mú jáde lọ́la, màá make sure pé mo sọ. Èmi kọ́ tẹ̀ send, wọ́n wá send message padà, but the content of the message was pé mo tẹ̀ pé definitely mo tẹ̀ mọ́ láyìn ibi tó ń lọ, but nígbà tí mo rí message yẹn, definitely ọkàn mi sọ pé intanet yìí ń sọ yìí kò hard up. Mo wá pè wọ́n and he picked up the call. Mo tẹ̀ tètè rí status wọn, later mo wá rí pé ọkọ̀ Democratic Republic of Yoruba. Mo ní wọ́n tún ń ṣe nonsense ọ̀nà tó declare wọ́n tún change orúkọ. Kò bá dáa kí gbogbo wa ká wà lójú kan. Mo nẹ́yìn àti ta ni. Mo tún fẹ́ fún gbogbo wa ní àṣírí kan lálẹ́. Even though àwọn tí wọ́n sọ yìí, ìyá burúkú tó ń sọ yìí, kò ní knowledge débẹ̀. Àwọn tó ní knowledge débẹ̀, tí bá fẹ́ sọ fún yín pé mo wà ní Canada lálẹ́, màá change VPN mi. Àwọn tó mọ̀ nípa IT mọ̀ tí mo sọ yìí, màá route ẹ̀. Ìjorí pé ẹ̀kọ́ mọ̀ pé normal background mi, mo lè change background mi kí n dẹ̀ wà ní London, kí n dẹ̀ sọ fún yín pé mo wà ní anywhere in the world. Màá dẹ̀ change VPN mi so that tí bá go live, ẹ̀ ní mọ̀ pé London mo ti ń sọ̀rọ̀, but ìyá yóò ní knowledge débẹ̀. Ẹ mọ̀ kí mo sọ lè rí screen record bíbá. Níjọ́ ta fi ṣe interview fún lórí Star Radio, mo ti sọ bọ̀ mo sọ ibíbá fún yín, and I have the record. Wọ́n lè log in through Skype tí wọn. Bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ̀ ní Skype ni o, bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n ní o, but mo wá ní okay, ẹ download the Skype. Tẹ́yìn bá ti download the Skype, ṣe mọ̀ pé tí wọ́n bá máa ṣe interview fún yàn, ẹ̀yin ò ní rí gbogbo the preparation. Àwa tá wà ní studio nìkan la máa rí. Èmi àti Archie lájọ wà ní studio tá n prepare program yẹn. So we were on the phone with her pẹ̀lú girl kan tó ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ tó jẹ́ bí I don't know, bí ọmọ wọn ni, I don't know. Mo ṣáà ń bá girl yẹn náà sọ̀rọ̀. I get them, man, okay. I, OLAYOMI KOIKI of Koikimedia, I officially gave her my login details to Skype. Mo ní èlò tèmi. Ṣé mi rò pé gbogbo time yẹn gbogbo àjọ ń ṣiṣẹ́ papọ̀ ni? She went ahead and logged in. Tó bá log in láti moment yẹn, ẹ mọ̀ pé wọ́n máa send the notification wá bẹ́ mi lórí fóònù mi. Ẹni tí ó bá mọ tí mò ń sọ, kí ló máa sọ pé ibi báyìí ni wọ́n ti ń log in? Make a comment. If you give me your login details, tí bá log in láti bíbá, kí ni notification tó máa wá bá yín lórí fóònù yín pé nǹkan kan ṣẹlẹ̀? The first thing they will tell you is that someone is trying to log into your account. Add their location. tí bá sọ fún yín pé Lagos State ẹ mọ̀ pé it was after she left us ni mo ṣe realize pé gbogbo tán ní wà níbì kan ó wà níbì kan. That login was from Lagos State because the Skype sent me a notification back on my phone to say that you are logging in from Lagos State. More message, this man, I'll come back in a minute. You are logging in from Lagos State. Do you want to accept it or decline? And I accepted it, and she logged in, and we prepared her, and we did the interview. It was mo ti sọ pé mo fún wọn ní Skype but mo ever sọ fún yín débi báyìí. So when I was now talking to this brother, ẹ̀mọ̀ tí brother yẹn tún sọ fún mi, ó ní ṣèbá Amẹ́ríkà ló wà, mo ní shut up, mo ní Amẹ́ríkà ra ni wo ló wà. So please, for those of you that are still thinking that you have a country, do not have Yoruba nation yet. Ìgbà wo ló máa bọ́ sí ìyẹn kò sọ̀wọ́ Elédùmarè. Àwọn kan ló máa bọ́ sí in 20 years àti bẹ̀rẹ̀ 20 years yẹn tó bá ní máa bọ́ sí in 20 years àti yọ 3 years kúrò nínú ẹ̀. Yes, because ìrìn àjò tíyàn bá máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ tó bá máa jẹ́ 20 ọdún ìgbà tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ yẹn lẹ́ máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń calculate. Ìjọ́ tí mo wọ̀ lùí ní 1998 ìjọ́ yẹn mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń calculate ìjọ́ tó fún mi níwọ̀n. Àdúrà ni pé ò ní pẹ́ kí wọ́n tó gbàgbé tiẹ̀ bí tèmi ṣe pẹ́. Olúkálùkù ló ní process tiẹ̀. Brother mi ti Scotland tí mo ní wọ́n pè mí pé wọ́n ń ṣèwé wọn lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́, ìwé yẹn ṣì ń lọ, àtúntò gbé fáìlì wọlé padà, Ọlọ́run á jẹ́ kí wọ́n dá wọn lóhùn. Ó lè má pẹ́ tó tèmi, lẹ́yìn ìgbà tèmi dé àìmọye àwọn tó gbàwé before mi, tó gbàwé lẹ́yìn ìgbà tèmi dé tó gbàwé before mi. Kódà ẹlòmíì tí mo ṣáájú ẹ̀ dé lu ìnígbà yẹn ó tún lọ Nàìjíríà before me. It is not how fast, it is how credible. Yoruba nation tá gbé dání ó ní credibility, ó dúró tán. Ẹ má kí èèyàn kan disturb mind yín. Àwọn olóṣèlú ń ṣe tiwọn. Nígbà tá bẹ̀rẹ̀, Buhari ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìjọba tiẹ̀. Nígbà tó parí tán nísìn, kí ló mú wá? Kò mú result kankan wá. Tinubu náà ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ tiẹ̀. We hope fún àwọn tó ń assume pé ó á ṣe fún wọn, fine. But fáwa, we stand and remain on Yoruba nation. So that's on that. Let's come back to the global world barometer. The ranking for Nigeria stand at 150 over 180. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, America ní Ìkẹjà ní Lagos State. Ẹ jẹ́ kó máa tọ́ra wọn. Ó ṣì kù tí mo ní lọ́wọ́. I don't have to give everything out. So I take back country, and I don't have to go and argue or debate with that with any idiotic person. Yoruba nation is not yet a country. That is as simple as that. Nigeria rank 150. Okay, so ìlú 30 ló kù tí Nigeria náà fi gbérí díẹ̀ ní gbogbo àgbáyé. In the whole world, Nigeria rank 150 over 180. Ní score 2022, again, it is 24 over 100. Màá ṣàlàyé gbogbo ẹ̀ fún yín. Now, ní global corruption barometer, it is 43% percentage of the people who thought corruption increased in the previous 12 months. So that means pé ẹ mọ̀ pa ìtìlẹ̀ calculate Tinubu nísìn because kò tí pé 1 year, but tá bá mú láti May 2023 ká dá padà sí May 2022, that is 1 year. 43% of people in Nigeria thought that corruption increased. Kí ló jẹ́ tó increase? Màá ṣàlàyé fún yín nísìn. Again, 44% of the public service user paid a bribe in the previous 12 months. So that means pé láti May 2023 padà sí May 2022, within the 12 months, àwọn immigration, ọlọ́pàá, Google Defense, CIA, DSA, gbogbo tán pè ní public services ní Nigeria, percentage of the public service user paid a bribe. Tó bá dẹ̀ sọ pé dọ́là ń pa, ìwọ náà kọ̀ wo láti 2022 May títí dégbà tí Buhari fi hand over. Ṣé kò sí bribe láàárín public services ní Nigeria? Now, let's look at the overview or our activity. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí. Nigeria oil bribery case. Netherlands and the US must reopen investigation into Eni and Shell's role. That was a press release of May 22, 2023. Okay? IMF scant transparency for COVID-19 emergency loan. March 30, 2021. Nigeria must stop using violence against protesters. Press release 23rd October 2022. Ṣẹ́rẹ́ ìtẹ́ wà nílé tẹ máa ń sọ pé Koiki ó dàbí àtẹ́ pé ẹ̀ ń push wá sínú wàhálà. Lóòótọ́, nobody prays that we go out and we get killed. Africa ló ní ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́. Europe náà wọ́n máa ń wà very brutal. Àwọn European countries kan, Russia, China, àwọn náà máa ń brutal. But Africa kò sí bá ṣe fẹ́ jáde tí a ní expect a kind of injury. It will happen. Even tá a ti protest gan, ẹni tó bá ń wà lórí Koikimedia ní sẹ́rí pé picture Àdògún àti Alhaji Fatai mo fi ṣe background picture. Wọ́n wọnú ilé olóyè ní 2021. Kí ló lọ ṣe? Wọ́n wọlé, wọ́n fẹ́ pa ni o. Evidence ti wà nísìn. Ẹ mọ̀ pé tẹ́lẹ̀ tá bá ní wọ́n fẹ́ lọ assassinate. Ẹ lọ́gbọ́n kan ti Fẹ́mi Adésínà sọ. Ó ní Buhari fẹ́ assassinate Nnamdi Kanu ni. I'm coming back to that. Let's go back to October 23rd. Màá wá ṣẹ̀ wá link gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ yìí mọ́ topic tí mo gbé jáde, which is constitution yìí ṣé kò wà powerful enough láti protect wa ni? Ṣé kò wà powerful enough láti defend Nigeria? Kí ni constitution yìí wà fún gangan? What is the existence of this fraudulent 1999 constitution? À ń bọ̀ níbẹ̀ yẹn later. I don't want us to forget, mo lè recap ibi tá a sọ̀rọ̀ dé àti mo láti ibi tí mo ní Nicholas Surgeon sọ fún Boris Johnson pé it is a F blah blah blah. A ti sọ̀rọ̀ débi àwọn ní bag, mo ti mọ̀rọ̀ lọ síbẹ̀ lọ títí ìyẹn, but the scandal ni pé ìyàwó prime minister ti South Korea ó gba báàgì lọ́wọ́ pásítọ̀ kan ní 2022. Masari kabẹ̀ fún yín. In hidden camera footage, ó dàbí ìgbà tí Kano state governor tóun náà gba dọ́là. Ṣé mọ̀ pé òun ṣì ní APC chairman nísìn, Ganduje, the former Kano state governor, ó lè burúkú ni. Mo mọ èyí tó dá fún àwọn UI nígbà tó ń ṣe anniversary wọn ní Park Lane Hotel ní London. Òṣòwò kékeré ló dá. Hidden camera footage appearing to show South Korea First Lady accepting a Christian Dior bag as a gift has plunged President Yoon Suk Yeol and his party into controversy that may threaten their bid to reclaim a parliamentary majority in the next 3 months. Our in January, February, March, April. Within 3 months, party tó ń rule lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ ní South Korea, they are likely not to reclaim a parliamentary majority nítorí pé ìyàwó ẹ̀kọ́ gba bag, but kò ń ṣe bag lásán, corruption bag ni. Wàá máa wá wonder pé Koiki bag làwọn yẹn ń torí ẹ̀jà pé kọ́ máa bọ̀ ní Nàìjíríà kọ́ wá rí àwọn olè tó ń gbé owó tá à ń rí wọn ní tán ní ejò swallow owó, ọ̀bọ ti jẹ owó, gbogbo oríṣiríṣi kan tá à gbọ́rí láyé la máa ń gbọ́ pẹ̀lú àwọn tọ̀dọ̀ tiwa, because it is not a civilized country. Ìlú wèrè ní Nàìjíríà. South Korea ìyàwó president ti sìn wọn kò mọ̀ pé báàgì yẹn àwọn ti gbé hidden camera. Nígbà tẹ́ni yẹn lọ ra báàgì yẹn ó ṣe fídíò, nígbà tó ń gbé fún ó ṣe fídíò, ó ti wá di scandal. Ọ̀rọ̀ tí mò ń sọ yìí ó kò lè rò pé ọ̀rọ̀ lásán ni. Ó ti fọ́ party South Korea yẹn bàjẹ́. They are not going to win a majority. Tó bá dẹ̀ ti win majority, ṣọmọ kí majority dẹ̀ ló ní government. Tó bá ti ní majority ó ní government money yẹn. some members of the Young Conservative People's Party, PPP, have urged the president and his wife, King Cant, to apologize for the incident dubbed by the local media Dior bag scandal. I mean, if we start talking about the scandal, Koikimedia team, I know I've not mentioned names, but I'll appreciate everyone along the line, because I'm trying to catch up, especially I have not been online, in the last 48 hours. When we look at the corruption cases in Nigeria, where do we even start? Irú scandal kí lorúkọ tá a máa pè é fún mi lóríṣiríṣi orúkọ kí n píkẹ ẹ wá lára àwọn criminals politicians wa ká wá fún wọn lórúkọ ṣé èyí tó ra mọ́tò pẹ̀lú owó wa ni ṣé èyí tó gbówó wa àmì ṣé tún rántí pé pásítọ̀ kan wọn ló gbówó pẹ̀lú jet wọ́n lọ fi ra ammunition. So many things goes wrong is because why? Ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ gbọ́ fídíò yìí. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí 12:30 láṣẹ wa àṣẹwọ̀n mẹ́tò ni ó sì kù díẹ̀ ẹni tó wọn bá ń kùn ẹ kàn rántí pé ibi ilẹ̀ wò dé nì kí ó bá dàrú ọ̀la kí wàá wò tó kù. Ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ gbọ́ fídíò yìí lẹ́ǹkan sí. Mo kí bàbá wa Olóyè Ìgbòho máa reduce the volume yẹn díẹ̀ torí ariwo yẹn kó má lọ síta púpọ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ gbọ́ fídíò yìí. Ó dà pé bàbá tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí Àgbákòbá is a senior advocate of Nigeria bí ẹja gbọ́n tó sọ. Nísòro máa ti sọ̀rọ̀ púpọ̀. Nísòro. Ẹ má bínú pé this is the only way we can be showing you videos onto my laptop. Tó bá ṣe fix, tó bá ti ṣe fix, a máa ní láti wá owó títí tá a máa fi ra another one. Bàbá kan pè mí Koiki èlò ní laptop. Mo ní kàn ṣe laptop ship. It's about £4,000. Laptop to crash yẹn ọdún mẹ́ta la fi lò back to back, so almost £4,000 ni. So it's not like all these cheap. Àwọn ilé tí mò ń lò ní bíbá cheap ni. Tí bá gbé ẹrù lé lórí nísìn laptop méjì mò ń lò ní bíbá, but ìyẹn lè gbé gbogbo ẹrù yẹn in one go. So ilé tá à ń ṣe YouTube ní orí phone, tá à ń ṣe Facebook ní bíbá, tá à tẹ̀lé monitor gbogbo comment in one platform. Yàtọ̀ sí Instagram nìkan kò tẹ̀ ká máa lo phone rárá, but for now at least a ṣì máa manage nǹkan ta ni. Tẹ́ bá ṣàtì ń rí mi tẹ̀dẹ̀ ń gbọ́ mi, so tẹ́ bá wonder pé kí ló dé tá à ń ṣe phone tẹ̀ ń rí báyìí, is because laptop kan mo fi ń stream. So
govern the country. If he does that, in 4 years, he can turn things around. But there are certain critical things he would need to do. The first thing is to say, what's the constitution? If, for instance, me and my wife Lillian don't agree in our marriage of 45 years, then we can't do anything. So the first thing that President Tinubu will need to do is to ensure that Nigerians all agree to be one country. You recall that Bolage asked those two questions. Do we want to be one? It's not by force. If we want to be one, how? We haven't answered those questions, which is why I told President Abadi of the Senate that it has taken 23 years to solve the problem of the Constitution. And I urged him, in conjunction with President Tinubu, to resolve the Nigerian constitutional question now by inviting the owners of Nigeria. The owners of Nigeria, mark you, were those who owned Nigeria before Lugard brought his amalgamation in 1914. Call them in. These are the people who own the country, and ask them questions. What do you want to see of the Constitution? Because without a Constitution, we're going nowhere. And no one will doubt the fact that the Constitution bequeathed by the military in 1999 is unsatisfactory. You can't build anything out of a weak foundation. The economic...
Let me pause it there. You can't build anything. Easy. Ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n tẹ́ ń bá wa fẹ̀mí bá lọ. Mo kí àwọn ọmọye tó mọ̀ pé ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation lóòótọ́ tá bá ní ó máa di gìgì, a tún gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe kí ni, a máa fi làákàyè, a máa fi ṣe. Oh yes, èmi dúró lórí pé a máa jáde lẹ̀ ni. Ìjà kan ni mò ń jà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀, ìjà social media, ìjà media. but tó bá di pé ó máa di fire power, fair enough. Ẹ má máa sọ fún wa pé ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ ogun la mọ̀, gbogbo yẹn ayé àtijọ́ nìyẹn, precision ló fi ń jagun nísìn. Kódà èèyàn lè jagun kékeré kó tún sá wọlé, ó dẹ̀ lè jagun débi pé wàá tẹ̀ délẹ̀. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ní mọ̀jà mọ̀sá láfi máa kíkanjú. So kíyàn kan má dẹ́rù bọ́mọ Yorùbá pé ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ta bá jà náà ara àjàdẹ̀ lẹ́yìn wà, gbogbo nǹkan dẹ̀ láre fi jà. Now ẹ̀ ń gbọ́n kan tí bàbá yẹn sọ lọ, mo mọ̀ọ́mọ̀ kọ́ tẹ̀ láàrin méjì máa padà sí because èmi kọ́ mọ́ ní fídíò yẹn. Ẹ gbọ́n kan tó sọ níbẹ̀, àwa wá fẹ́ build Nàìjíríà tí kò ní corruption pẹ̀lú 1999 fraudulent corruption. Ṣé rí pé ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn kò hard up? Bí àṣà ìjáyà á ní tí ò bá ń ṣe pé ànọ́mà, àwa fẹ́ build ìlú tí terrorist ń pààyàn lójoojúmọ́ tàdé ń rí. Kódà sójà náà máa lọ gbé bọ̀bọ̀ Cant tó pariwo ní Plateau pé sójà wọ́n ti gbà bọ̀dé o, because sójà ò fẹ́ jẹ́ kẹ́ criticize òun. Now let's go back to the article kí n tó padà sórí fídíò yìí. Nigeria must stop using violence against protesters. Governance reforms, including to security sector, are urgently needed. This was a press release on the 23rd of October 2020, 4 years ago, precisely. Are you saying to me that kò ní sí violent tí protester bá jáde? There will be violence. Because àwọn tí wọ́n fẹ́ jẹ́ kó lo violent against yín, òun làwọn ọlọ́pàá, òun làwọn sójà. But violent níbi tó dé, because táwọn bá lo violent síyàn, àwọn tó ń lo violent síyàn tó ọba tẹ̀ ní tó fẹ́ fi jà, in tó wà lọ́wọ́ àwọn yẹn náà la máa gbà, la máa fi bá wọn jà. Ìyẹn mo ṣe máa ń sọ fún ẹ̀yin tẹ́ máa ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ pé ẹ̀kẹ́ wá ra kíní kan fún ara jack shit for anybody. Ẹ má bínú fẹ́ dé yẹn. Don't. We're not gonna buy anything for anybody. Gbogbo tá a máa fi bá gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì jà tó bá dé stage yẹn, inú Nàìjíríà ló wà. Oh yes, ọlọ́gbọ́n ló lè yé, òmùgọ̀ ló máa ní kí n ṣàlàyé FCC. Gbogbo tá a máa fi bá wọn jà, ó wà nínú ilé, ó wà ní Lagos State, ó wà nínú Ogun State, ó wà ní Ọ̀yọ́, ó wà lọ́ṣun, ó wà ní Kwara, ó wà lóńdó, ó wà lẹ́kìtì, ó wà ní gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Gbogbo tá a máa fi bá gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì jà, ó wà nínú ibẹ̀. Ẹ̀yin ò ní láti worry. Gbogbo tá a máa jẹ nígbà tí wàhálà bá dé, ó wà nínú Nàìjíríà to some extent. But àìtí dé stage yẹn, tá a bá dé stage yẹn, ìwọ gan ló máa sọ pé yes, a ti wà ní stage yẹn. A lè máa end up the stage yẹn, but if the government does not review the constitution, there is a danger ahead that cannot be avoided. Ṣẹ́rí constitution tí gbogbo àtàwọn rẹ́rìn sí ó máa explode níjọ́ kan. Ṣé wàá ráhùn tó believe in one Nigeria? It is as dead as nothing. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ka article ìdí ẹ̀. Transparency International condemns the Nigerian state excessive use of force and continued preparation of violence against peaceful protesters. This was after the incident of the EndSARS in October 2020. In tó máa wọ̀nyàn sá nìyẹn pé Koiki a lè jáde o, wo bí sójà ṣe pa wá o, nítorí pé sójà yẹn rò pé òun lòún níbọn. Nígbà tá a wá gba ìbọn lọ́wọ́ sójà, ká kọlu sójà padà náà pẹ̀lú ìbọn, sójà gan máa yá dànù. Everybody agrees that. But ìtorí pé àìtí dé stage yẹn, sójà tó bá yìnbọn fún yàn tó mú bí mẹ́wàá balẹ̀, ta súnmọ́, ta gbàbọn lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀, táwa náà yìnbọn fún padà, ta mú bí 20 balẹ̀, kí lè rò kó máa ṣẹlẹ̀? It becomes too fighting. So má rò pé kò lè possible. It can be possible, subject to if we all continue to live in denial that this constitution is going to work. Transparency wrote a press release. Protests that can began with demand for an end to police brutality and the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS, have since transformed into wider calls for an end to corruption and the looting of the public funds. The government must respond to these calls with serious evidence-based anti-corruption reforms, including to the security sector in dialogue with the civil society. Daila Feira Rubio, chair of Transparency International, said, corruption deprives ordinary people of their right to peace. Surely what the one here, Koiki, Nigeria, no, forget about it. Listen to this now. Corruption deprives ó máa ń gba ẹ̀tọ́ ọmọ ènìyàn, agba right ẹ̀, agba peace ẹ̀, ó ti gba healthcare, ó ti gba security, ó wá gba prosperity, ó wá ń lọ mọ́ṣáláṣí, ó ń lọ sí church, mo ní kò ní sí prosperity níbẹ̀, but apẹ́. Because in tí corruption ń ṣe nìyẹn, àgbá kò ní corruption máa ń ṣe wàhálà àti jàǹbá ta fi ń wọ́wọ́ lórí social media, ta fi ń wá bá ṣe máa jẹ́ kí láyé wá dá nìkan lórí social media, when we should have a government to work for us. Ìlú kan ní South Korea, ìyàwó prime minister wọn, ó gba Christian Dior bag. The total value of the bag, ó dà pọ́n níbi àbí less than $350,000. Wọ́n wá ń sọ pé ìjọba tí ọkọ ẹ̀ ní April yìí ó máa lose the majority seat. Ṣùgbọ́n àwọn ti dé standard débi pé wọ́n ti mú corruption as disease tó yẹ pé tó bá ti ṣẹlẹ̀ a máa jẹmọ́ ènìyàn díẹ̀. Ìdí tí àṣeyọrí ò ṣe ṣẹlẹ̀ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá lẹ́nu corruption ni. So má rò pé ọ̀rọ̀ Fúlàní nìkan, corruption ló ń jẹ́ kí Fúlàní máa ráyè gbérí. Kò tó bá sí corruption ni kí lèèyàn gbé bọ́ǹbù sínú ilé tó explode mọ́ gbogbo wa ní Bódìjà. Pastor Mo ni corruption is taking people's life in Nigeria. And many of you are still asking the question, Nigeria will work. Let's go back again. Video here, ẹ̀mẹ́jì ni máa fẹ́ play lálẹ́. Màá kọ́kọ́ play báyìí nísìn, àtúpadà sílẹ̀ nǹkan sí.
Development policy of President Tinubu, the political development policy of President Tinubu, and everything else he wants to do rests on a very solid foundation. So let him immediately resolve that. How can we spend 23 years looking for a foundation for building a house? Does that make sense to anybody? So that's my number one issue. We need to resolve this issue of, do we want to be one? And mark you, the flip side of the question is that we mustn't be one, because Yugoslavia, which was 6 countries under Marshal Tito, when he died, decided to break apart. And today, a lot of them are very strong countries: Macedonia, Croatia, Slovenia, Slovakia. They're all doing well. So
ẹ má bínú, àwọn ìyá wa kan mo rí comment wọn ní Koiki volume yìí ló mo lè fi gbádùn program yìí dáadáa. Mo máa ń gbàgbé láti connect Rhoda mic yìí mọ́ ni. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbé mic yẹn sí lára, a fún ní external ara wa láti laptop yẹn ṣe nìyẹn. Tí 4,000 people bá fún wa ní £1 láàárọ̀ ọ̀la máa order laptop tuntun, bó dẹ̀ yẹ pé desktop ni máa change sí ni. But nígbà tó yẹ pé 4,000 people watch the video, I'm talking about in a week, at least 4,000 people watch my video. I know that because I have the statistics. But the 4,000 people are not ready to deliver £1. Bí ọ̀kan bá fún wa ní £50, àwọn ti ní enough pé okay, àwọn ti support èèyàn 50. But tá a bá rí the rest of the people tó máa fún wa ní £1 yẹn kọ́. Yes, àwọn èèyàn fún wa lówó, but owó yóò wá in bulk. Ìyẹn la ṣe ní ẹ tún bá wa dáwó sínú GoFundMe kó lè wá in bulk ká lè rówó lò. Ṣé a máa sọ pé lórí platform yẹn a lè raise portal? We can raise it, but àwọn kan ṣì ń rò pé they play. Owó lẹ wá gbà, ẹ dáwó fún wa kìnìkan. So we are managing the little resources that we have. Mo kí bàbá wa mọ́ ṣe bí, mo kí our first bank. We don't want to stress too many people, but like I said, we can only plead for your support. Media gangan ni iṣẹ́ Yoruba Nation. And I'm not talking about myself alone, I'm talking about all the media as well. So let me appreciate as many people before we go back into the program again, because mo ṣe rí pé tí volume yẹn bá pick up díẹ̀ nísìn, ẹ jẹ́ kí n mọ̀. Ìyàwó Adéọlá Òsínlóye tí mo fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀wọ̀ dárúkọ mà. Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Peter Ọládélé, mo rí pé ẹ bá mi tún kalẹ̀ lálẹ́, mo kí bàbá ọmọ ṣe bí mo ti kí lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n sáré kí àwọn tó ti wà lórí ètò náà, mo kí sister mi Kọ́lá kò gbọ́dọ̀ kó, ẹ kó palẹ̀ mọ́ láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Ó máa wáyé next month. Kò sí nǹkan tó lè yẹ, babaláwo kankan lè yẹ, Christian kankan lè yẹ mùsùlùmí kankan lè yẹ a máa gbé ìyá yìí sílẹ̀ ní next month láṣẹ Èdùmàrè in Jesus name lórúkọ Jésù Kristi tẹ̀mí mímọ́ kò sí ìyá tó yẹ tẹ́rí tó dúró yìí a máa gbé wọlé ní next month gbogbo àlà ń bọ̀ nílé ẹ máa lọ gbáradì fún wa. Mo kí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí mo kí ìyá mi lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí it was great to each time I go to my mom's house we have deep conversation. Mo kí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Sunday Adébánjọ Mr. Kẹ́hìndé Adéyẹmí Kentos mo kí ẹ o ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ kúfẹ́ ní gbogbo GR1 ìyá wa Táíwò Bánúsọ ẹni keep up the good work Prince Adékúnlé mo kí yín ìjáyà mo mọ̀ pé wà lórí ètò ni well done for the good job every day kò lè sú mi sẹ́ẹ̀ ìgbà tẹ́yìn bá rò pé ó máa fẹ́ sú mi ẹ̀ ìgbà ẹlẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ tèmi máa dìde mo lẹ́mi ní last man standing máa ṣàlàyé Nàìjíríà fún ẹ wàá máa gbọ́ Nàìjíríà inú á máa rún ẹ ó kù díẹ̀ ọdún yìí 2024 ọdún global awareness òun la wà lọ́nà ẹ̀ tá bá ti dé 2 hours àwa ka rìpọ́tì tí Matthew Carl tó túnṣẹ̀ ṣe Silver Badmus mo kí n lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ẹja tó sáré wo àwọn platforms wa tó kù gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí YouTube ẹ̀yin comment dáadáa but bá wa fi like sórí ètò yẹn àmọ́ why bóyá program yóò dùn tó bí ẹ tó bẹ́ẹ̀ lè rí mi lánàá lẹ ṣe ń bínú pé Koiki ìgbà tí wọ́n náà bá ti jáde Dizima 123 I will pay my money in your account tomorrow bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo ti rí email yín náà ẹ ṣé gan ni mo send kankan náà sẹ́yìn náà lórí email padà Pastor Mo wọn kí n dáadáa sí mo kí Dizima ni we will raise new fund to get a new laptop bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo kí ẹ easy Waris Jinadu bàbá dáadáa mo kí Pastor Mo ni corruption òun ló ń ṣe wàhálà àti jàǹbá fúnlẹ̀ ayé gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá Aziz Easy Dollar mo kí gbogbo into America Canada Australia mo kí àwọn uncle wa ní New Zealand mo kí grandma Leah Ajayi wọ́n ní they are gullible people they don't know anything they follow what they told them it is a shame bẹ́ẹ̀ ni I'm sure pé wọ́n respond sáwọn tó náà ti gba country mo bá bàbá wa Kẹ́hìndé Òsèní wọ́n náà kàn máa ń pè mí láti fi gbọ́n mi ni mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín fún gbogbo ìgbà the Igbos don't know how to speak Hausa Yoruba and Hausa don't know how to speak Igbo Yoruba we the Yorubas don't know how to speak Hausa and Igbo how are we one we are not one in Nigeria mo kí grandma Comfort Adeleye mo kí bàbá wa Samson Adékúnlé mo kí Mr. Femi Kasali mo kí went to United Kingdom ìyá wa Bọ́ládé Ṣọmádé wọ́n ní remember the joker that said that Nigeria is not for you my brother no be juju be that bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kódà gbogbo àwọn tó bá tí Tinubu náà bá wá ṣe tán ní sàn á máa sọ̀rọ̀ bíi Jonathan orígbà tó bá ṣe tán náà máa sọ̀rọ̀ kábàkábà Mr. Pang say we must unlock the great potentials of the African we are Africans but we are Yorubas as well so we can still keep the Africanism mo like Ṣeun Kuti but gbogbo táwọn fi support Yoruba nation yẹn we must first talk about the Yoruba people and be talking about Pan-Africanism or whatever they talk about mo kí Pastor Mo ẹ ṣé gan ni mo ní ẹkú gbogbo gbà mo kí wọ̀nyí grandma tẹ wà Nàìjíríà mo kẹ́yìn tẹ wà ní abroad Mr. Alabi mo kí yín wọ́n ní yes you are too much Mr. Koiki Johnson Amos Mr. Waris Jinadu as for now time for the Biafrans the Yoruba to end every foreign exchange into naira to bring Nigeria contraction to a round table wà lọ́fíìn operate in Nigeria ìyá mi Comfort ni a nation embedded in corruption can never have peace òyìnbó ńláńlá ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tí grandma sọ mẹ́yìn ṣẹ́rí àwọn tó ń comment iṣẹ́ náà ló ń ṣe kan tó type má dọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ sí mi náà nígbà tó bá ń wọ àwọn program báyìí ó gbé iPad síwájú bá gbé phone báyìí máa ń rò pé yáì wà ní studio ni gbogbo ẹ̀yin grandma àti engage ẹlòmíì tó yẹ kó lọ sùn Koiki tí wọ́n láì mo gbọ́dọ̀ gbọ́n tó fẹ́ sọ wọ́n á láì kí wọ́n láìfẹ̀ kò ní bàjẹ́ fún gbogbo wa àwọn tó ti tẹ̀lé wa láì ká pinnu sí wọn ẹ̀yà fi wọ́n sílẹ̀ kò tí ì yé wọn dáadáa ni ṣe rí tí corruption tó bá wọnú ilé wa báyàn tó bá wọnú ilé wa báyàn wà á understand pé ọmọ corruption yìí bad mo ń wo ìyàwó Ṣànlá ó ṣe fídíò kan ní àná tó mu gàrí àtẹja dídín èèyàn mélòó ló lè mu gàrí àtẹja dídín ní Nàìjíríà nísìn àmì ẹ mọ̀ pé ó yẹ kí èèyàn máa wọ́ndà pé gàrí àtẹja dídín corruption ni kí ló fi ń ṣe gàrí pákí ṣé wá jẹ́ kí pákí wá jẹ́ nǹkan tó difficult bàbá wa Timothy Jésù lọ́ba ó fi máa ṣe ẹ̀gẹ́ kan ní farm Yèyé Dára ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ same kind of project but ẹ wá da màálù sínú bẹ̀ ẹ wá jẹ́ gbẹ a máa ka àwọn alliance kìíní kan náà àwọn Jọjọ Akínọlá wọ́n release statement kan àká yẹn náà ẹ máa follow blog wa Bídèmí mo kí yín sà mo kí gbogbo yín tẹ́ wà lórí Instagram pẹ̀lú wa ní TikTok mọ́ àwọn èèyàn like òtítọ́ wọ́n ti já wa kúrò nínú bẹ̀ and we're not ready to go back. Do you know she was jailed for it? A nation embedded for corruption can never have peace. The first experience I had in America when I got here in the late 2000s was a mayor in Maryland was a woman who went home with a Christmas hamper. Wọ́n lè ní ìrọ̀lẹ́ ń pa grandma ẹ má worry social media ní parọ́ màá bá yín mú jáde nísìn mo lè bá yín mú jáde màá bá yín mú jáde nísìn ẹ mọ̀ pé àwọn kan tá a bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí grandma ló ń sọ yẹn wọ́n nígbà táwọn dé America wọ́n ní a mayor in Maryland was a woman went home with a Christmas hamper and at the end of the day kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ ó di pé crime ni crime corruption ni tó bá ti lè ṣe corruption yẹn you will serve for that purpose. So ẹ jẹ́ ká kí gbogbo àwọn tó kù náà lórí other platform náà ká tó máa tẹ̀síwájú. Orúkọ mi ni Ọláyọmí Kóìkì tí gbogbo yín mọ̀ sí Koikimedia. Program yẹn ò ní ju 3 hours lọ. We are done 1 hour 40 minutes. Mo lè fẹ́ ka article tí Matthew Carl tó ṣe kọ fún wa bọ̀. Mo fẹ́ kí àwọn tó wà lórí backup channel wa náà ká tó máa tẹ̀síwájú. The topic for tonight is 1999 fraudulent constitution won't make Nigeria work. Yoruba nation no going back. Mo kí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi triple DRS ní gbogbo Woolwich. Mo kí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní England. Mo kí àwa Abe Dairo. Mo rí sísítà mi oní Sanjo Beauty. Wọ́n ti ṣerun lọ. Wọ́n ti wà pawó. So ìyẹn láì tí ṣe rí wọn. Bàbá Bakunle Shita mo kí yín. So if you're still in the program, you still have the time to comment so that we can appreciate you. So ẹ jẹ́ ká move forward again. So ká tó parí ètò to recognize gbogbo yín. So I think what we should do because a ti sọ̀rọ̀ too much. So ẹlòmíràn lè rántí ibi tí arákùnrin sọ̀rọ̀ sí. So mo kàn fẹ́ ká kọ̀rọ̀ ojú ẹ̀ ni but literally a ní láti rí ojú ẹ̀. So let us just play the audio alone so that ká má máa gbé fóònù sókè báyìí ká kọ̀ gbọ́ nǹkan tó sọ ni. Let's listen to it again.
To put his best foot forward to govern the country. If he does that, in 4 years, he can turn things around. But there are certain critical things he would need to do. The first thing is to say, what's the constitution? If, for instance, me and my wife Lillian don't agree in our marriage of 45 years, then we can't do anything. So the first thing that President Tinubu would need to do is to ensure that Nigerians all agree to be one country. You recall that Bolage asked those 2 questions. Do we want to be one? It's not by force. If we want to be one, how? We haven't answered those questions, which is why I told President Ababi of the Senate that it has taken 23 years to solve the problem of the Constitution. And I urged him, in conjunction with President Tinubu, to resolve the Nigerian constitutional question now by inviting the owners of Nigeria. The owners of Nigeria, mark you, were those who owned Nigeria before Lugard brought his amalgamation in 1914. Call them in. These are the people who own the country and ask them questions. What do you want to see of the Constitution? Because without a Constitution, we're going nowhere. And no one will doubt the fact that the Constitution bequeathed by the military in 1999 is unsatisfactory. You can't build anything out of a weak foundation. The economic development policy of President Tinubu, the political development policy of President Tinubu, and everything else he wants to do rests on a very solid foundation. So let him immediately resolve that. How can we spend 23 years looking for a foundation for building a house? Does that make sense to anybody? So that's my number one issue. We need to resolve this issue of, do we want to be one?
Do we want to be one? Ṣàfẹ́ jẹ́ ẹyọkan, tàbá fẹ́ jẹ́ ẹyọkan. Ṣé lórí constitution yìí náà? We are all joking. Mo kàn fẹ́ play délẹ̀ tán. Kí tó grandma mo ti help yín, mo ti bá yín mú story tẹ̀sán lórí YouTube yẹn wá. Torí tó bá nírọ̀lẹ́ ń pa, èmi ti bá yín gbé jáde. Torí pé evidence wà according to Reuters. Ìyá tí ó fọwọ́ fẹ́ ọwọ́ ní 2009 tó gba ampa kí ló ṣe fún wọn ti mú story yẹn jáde ẹja gbọ́lẹ̀ tán délẹ̀.
The side of the question is that we mustn't be one. Because Yugoslavia, which was 6 countries under Marshal Tito, when he died, decided to break apart. And today, a lot of them are very strong countries: Macedonia, Croatia, Slovenia, Slovakia. They're all doing well. So there is no sacrosanctity about Nigeria being one country. There's none.
Kò kí ń ṣe dandan pé kí a jẹ́ ẹyọ kan in case táwọn èèyàn bá gbọ́ òyìnbó tó ń sọ òyìnbó yẹn ti pọ̀jù fẹ́mi náà.
I personally would wish for Nigeria to be one country, but we must agree that wisdom of giving us a constitution, that is the weakness.
So òun lẹ ti gbọ́ yẹn. Now ẹ jẹ́ ká padà sórí eléyìí. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n sáré kí àwọn tí wọ́n wà lórí Koikimedia torí pé platform ta fi ń stream ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ni, so èèyàn lè lọ miss wọn. Mo kí àwọn backup channel wa, mo kí bàbá wa Adéwálé Adéyẹmí, mo mọ̀ yín dáadáa, mo kí ẹ kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun. Mo hó pé gbogbo yín ṣe ń ṣe yẹ ó dà pé àwọn àlèmọ́ṣọ́ náà máa kí n má ṣe kí ni àwọn àlèmọ́ṣọ́ náà ṣe ń ṣe meeting, but mo wà mọ̀ bí wọ́n ṣe ń ṣe for now, but gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ̀ tí ṣe meeting láti last year, mo bẹ̀ yín ní gbogbo state àṣàkọ ẹ pè meeting sí next month. Ẹ tẹ̀ pé pàdé kẹ́tẹ̀ wọ̀nyí mélòó lẹ máa wá síbẹ̀. Kò ń ṣe pé a máa lówó kan ta fẹ́ send sí yín, ẹ pè pàdé ní gbogbo jurisdiction bí tẹ bá wà. Ẹni tó bá dẹ̀ náà ń ṣe Yorùbá nation bí ṣe fi audio sílẹ̀, a pàṣẹ fún yín ẹ nínú ẹ̀ láti ṣe Yorùbá nation, but Yorùbá nation tẹ́ ẹ bá ti ṣe tá a bá ti mọ̀ yín, you are doing it on your own. Ìbáwọn kan ṣe tí wọ́n ní sàwọn dàgbòrú tó náà ti gba country, ojoojúmọ́ ló ń sọ̀rọ̀ lórí YouTube, mo rí wọn bẹ̀, ojoojúmọ́ ló ń ṣe program. Ọmọ Yorùbá náà ni wọ́n, but àwọn náà ti gba country, but àwa sọ pé irọ́ ni kìsì kankan tó ń jẹ́ Yorùbá nation country. So gbogbo tó ń ṣe yẹn awareness lè ní kà sí. Àdèlè bí àṣà sísítà mi, mo gbọ́ voice wọn kò gbọ́dọ̀ kú, tó bá gbé Adélé wá tari àtẹ̀lé wọn, but irọ́ ni Adélé kankan lè dé sẹ́ni wẹ̀ nínú ọdún yìí. Mo wà lè sọ bí i next year o, they whine me, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń tẹ̀lé wọn tó bá yá ẹ wà frustrated, ọlọ́mọ yẹn kíkan nu yín kó lọ mú sniper. So mo kí bàbá Adéwálé, mo kí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Sunday Adébánjọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń lọ sórí one platform lẹ́wọ́n síbi mi, mo dẹ̀ kí Angel TV, hey, LTV, how you doing? Hello, Yomi. Consistency is the key. Let me pin that. Thank you so much. I just saw your message. Angela and myself met in Nigeria, on another platform before this Yoruba Nation campaign. I think about 2018, if I'm right, or thereabout. We were lucky to be in Nigeria together. We met at the Ikeja. She's a health care practitioner in America. And like I said, we're not ghosts. Sometimes I don't have to go home now because of the risk, but we are coming home next month. Normally when I would go to Nigeria, people that we know each other on social media, we would meet, we would eat, and we did the same thing with Angela, and there was another brother like that. Ayomi Kundamiju, thank you so much. Baba Muyedin, Baba Tunde Oladije, thank you so much. Aljayi Gabriel, Akim Ayodele. Remember when we say donate to Koikimedia, it is voluntary. Mukiyawa Olajumoke Ajoke TJ. Hey, mommy me to send the video is me to play. Most of them play that program. Ìyàwó Dúpẹ́ Agboola, àwọn lọ send the Facebook link and send me mo sáré download it so that Ali wa nínú archive wa, and we will continue to play it consistently. Advert àwọn youth stoffership launch website ma play kí n tó lọ náà, ma prepare nísìn. So I think ìyàwó Mary Olóyèdé mo kí wọ́n ní ìyá 419 yẹn onírọ́, ó máa tó sú gbogbo wọn, ó máa sún wọn very soon. So and like I said, I gave her my Skype to use for interview tá a ṣe fún ní July or June 2022, and moment to log in, the location indicated Lagos State. But she must approve it, and she cannot deny that. But at the time to Mr. Gbenga Mokinyi, Mr. Kende Mokinyi, Iyawa Seidu Adefunke, well done, Mr. Koiki, no going back. Benny, no going back. So jẹ́ kí n sáré ka article tí grandma sọ fún wa pé ní 2009 táwọn dé America wọ́n persecute ìyá kan, ẹ jẹ́ kí n sáré kà fún wa. This is again Reuters. Mo ti share link yẹn in case tẹ́yìn tí ẹ bá fẹ́ lọ kà fún wa, because lórí ètò tiwa níbí báyìí, it is important that we speak the truth and nothing but the truth. Mo kí ẹ Tokyo, mo gbàgbé yẹn tẹ́ wà lórí Instagram, mo dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ fún ìrànlọ́wọ́ tẹ́ ṣe níjọ́ kan tá ní a máa nídìí náírà, àwọn èèyàn bínú wọn sáré fún wa lówó, ẹ ṣé gan ni, thank you so much. Kò ní tán níbẹ̀ fún gbogbo yín o, and we are very very grateful for keeping this platform alive. Thank you so much Tokyo. And thank you so much, everyone. So let me read that before we move swiftly to the next video. Baltimore Mayor Dixon indicted state prosecutor. This was routed January 9, 2009, updated 15 years ago. New York, the Maryland state prosecutor on Friday indicted Mayor Sheila Dixon, according to the office website. No other details were immediately available. The Baltimore Sun says on its website that the Mayor Dixon, a Democrat, was charged with perjury, theft, fraudulent, misappropriation, misconduct, stemming in part from the gift she received from former boyfriend and a developer, Ronald Lipscomb, who was also charged earlier this week. Bí ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tí mo sọ, Grandma Comfort kò ní bàjẹ́ fún yín grandma, a máa rí gbogbo yín bá ní. Àwọn ló mú kí bàbá wa Idris, àwọn ló mú wa lọ sí ibi báyìí. Ṣé rí corruption ó máa ń bà nǹkan jẹ́. Mo kí Clement, mo kí àwọn Biafra, mo kí Simon Ekpa for the great work he's doing as the government in exile for the autopilot. Jagunlabi. Look, yeah, near there. Lie down there. You want to wee? You want to wee? Boy, they came here, you do somewhere. Come here. Yeah. My boy,
it's very clear. We made a declaration saying that it's too late for restructuring in Nigeria. You will remember in 1962, there was a massive problem in Nigeria when Awolowo was arrested. Our people talked to us. There was crisis for over 4 years that led to the coup. There was a Yoruba meeting of elders called the Yoruba Leaders of Thought. We relented. The thing continued. Yoruba has continued to lose ground since that time. In 1993, there was the annulment of the June 12 election. Shiju Ade, the former Oni, spoke and said Yoruba should go ahead and conduct an election. We did. It led to nothing. The same thing happened in 1998, just before the handover to the democratic elected government. Yoruba did not want to go for anything like Nigeria again. But then it failed. Look at where we are. Yoruba has been losing ground since 1914, and we are just tired. We are done for restructuring. It's too late for restructuring in Nigeria. It's too late for sovereign national conference. It's too late for resource control. What we want now is Oduduwa Republic. And we are very categorical about that. We have made that very clear. We have made declarations, and we are very serious about our demands. Every region just go to its own tent. Yoruba wants to be on its own because the problem that Yoruba has is Nigeria. Nigeria is the problem, is the impediment to Yoruba development. Is the impediment to Yoruba development. Without Nigeria, we won't be where we are. 1962, we are far ahead of South Korea and North Korea. We are far ahead of China even. We had television before France.
Okay.
We had radio before South Africa. Now look at where we are today. I think it's a shame that even any Yoruba man can be talking about restructuring at this point in time. What are we restructuring? This country that is already shot to pieces?
Okay.
I don't think that's what we want.
Okay.
But they're always talking about giving Nigeria a chance. The patience of Yoruba with Nigeria has come to an end.
Now, why then ni àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá kan ṣe wọ́n ti sọ fún wa pé we should keep Nigeria? Not because of anything. Some of them is because the present administration. And we can't blame them. They believe that he's a Yoruba man. Some even say he's not a Yoruba man. But that is not the point. The point is that whatever we are thinking with the current constitution, it cannot give us exactly what we want as a dream of Nigeria. Let's go back to what corruption can do. And since the 1999 till date, at Igbonepa, staggering amount of money stolen, money that is meant to be used to develop Nigeria. How do we stop it? How soon can we stop it? Who is going to stop it? ọ̀nà wo la fẹ́ fi stop it, especially for those of you that say we should keep on voting every 4 years. Let me take you back to what one of our grandmother, Our Comfort, she directed us to this article. A mayor in Baltimore 15 years ago, because she received a gift from her boyfriend, her former boyfriend, she's a Democrat. She was charged with perjury, Odeyokun, theft, Odimeji, fraudulent. The word fraudulent, a lot of us don't seem to understand the magnitude of the word fraudulent. Fraud. Anything that is fraud would destroy every part of whatever it contains. Some of you have even argued that the Yoruba nation itself is a fraud, but it's a lie. There's no evidence to back it because the campaigners, the leader, most importantly, the leader, Feba Bakitoye. And this is a man that has written a draft of the history of Yoruba in 1978. Some of us, either we were born, we were dealing with other projects, we were looking at how to make money. He started writing about our history. That history is what we are still using and taking advantage today. So when some of you are saying, the Yoruba people, we don't want to get involved with them and blah, blah, blah. Well, the question is because you are not ready to be under somebody. And we've seen that, the Global Directorate, they wanted to stand on their own. But what about if someone in Yoruba nation, prior before Ilanomo Odua, because Ilanomo Odua lo instigating everybody to be the people under Yoruba nation sílẹ̀. Ẹgbẹ́ tí gbogbo anda sílẹ̀ ni pé ẹgbẹ́ kìnnìkan Nigeria, ẹgbẹ́ kìnnìkan Nigeria. But the moment Baba Akintoye came out with a group of people, definitely, and projected to us about Yoruba nation, olúkálùkù wa ni ó dà pé ọ̀nà eléyìí náà dá o, but àfẹ́ wà submissive sábẹ́ Baba Akintoye. Instead of us to work with him and hold on with him and fortify him and push the message, olúkálùkù fẹ́ ní kàtẹ́ ìgbà tó yá ìgbà Gani Adams náà lọ dá tiẹ̀ sílẹ̀. Not that they are not working, but kí ni agenda gbogbo wọn? Àwọn náà fẹ́ Yoruba nation, but nobody talked about it prior before Baba Akintoye. So whatever we are doing today, we still have to be very grateful for Baba Akintoye because Baba yẹn gangan ló ṣì làákàyè wa. Baba yẹn wà rẹ́ ni báwọn pariwo ẹ̀ síta. Ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí í sọ̀rọ̀, ààrẹ mi pariwo síta, ibẹ̀ lolóyè ti jáde. And it became the voice that we needed. Ẹni tó lè kwaya pé òun máa lọ bá àwọn Fúlàní nínú igbó, and it became the star boy. Àwọn yẹn pa tálẹ̀ ilé ìkẹ́, àwọn kan wá ní ó ṣẹ̀ jáde ní wọ́n wá famous ní bla bla bla. Máà tí mo pàdé nínú ọjà, inú ọjà ni mo ti pàdé, ó wò mí bọ́ ní Koiki mo ní yes. Ó fẹ́ lè dọ̀bálẹ̀ fún mi, àgbàlagbà, àti ojú mi lọ. He was so excited. Olóyè, Ìgbòho ṣá, bóyá ṣe lílé. Picture wà lọ́wọ́ mi because mo screenshot òun àti chief nígbà tọ́jọ́ ń sọ̀rọ̀ so that màá send us, I'll keep as an archive. Because only Malam Fanati told me for a very long time. I haven't been to that market for the last 10 years. Nígbà tí mo wá pé chief, mo ti sọ ní at the beginning. Olóyè, he was so happy. Àwọn eléyìí tí mọ lóyè as far back as ìgbà tó lóyè wà ní Òṣogbo kò tí ì dé Ìbàdàn. Bọ̀bọ́ yẹn dẹ̀ confirm pé olóyè náà dẹ̀ confirm ẹ̀ nígbà tó ń sọ̀rọ̀. Olóyè ti ń lo Oma jeep méjì as far back as then. So for the fact that we have now seen him as òun àbẹ́ ń bá wa sọ̀rọ̀, ṣé o lè pa gìrì lọ bá Ọ̀tẹ̀tọ́lá kó fún ẹ lápọ̀ìntmẹ́ǹtì gan kó máa rí ẹ báyìí kò ní dẹ lóhùn? Ṣó lè pa gìrì? No, tọ́ba ẹ máa ní kí tọ́ba bíyànjá pa gìrì kó lọ wọnú ilé ìmọ̀ni, gbogbo àṣà là ń rí ìmọ̀ni. Lọ sórí Instagram wàá rí picture, mo ṣe rí lẹ́yìn alẹ́ mo mọ ibi tó lọ, mo like ẹ̀ gan. Tó bá rìn, security tó ń gbé lọ, tó bá ń dárìn, tó ń jáde nínú ilé ẹ̀, wàá rò pé government lọ, wàá tẹ̀rọ pé bí another governor kan ní ayé tó ń jẹ pẹ̀lú owó tó ní, ó ti fowó ra security rẹ̀. Òun ò ṣe dárìn lọ sí ìlú ẹ̀ nílẹ̀ Ìgbò láti Èkó, kò tó bẹ́ẹ̀. kò sí security. Èèyàn mélòó ló lè afford ẹ̀? Tí the same set of people bá dé London nísìnyí, yes, ó lè gbé Bentley kó wá gbé, pọ̀ bí dáa kó sọ pé kí ọlọ́pàá London wá secure òun torí kíni? Because the constitution is working for him. Nígbà yẹn làwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ ti ń school. So don't allow the fake life táwọn kan náà wọ́n gbé, because people like that, as far as I'm concerned, they're living a fake life. They can't live the kind of life tó fi gbé. And I don't have anything against him personally, but it's just to reference it. So when we talk about corruption, ẹ jẹ́ ká padà sí corruption in Nigeria again. Bí ẹ ti gbàgbé ibi tá a kàdé lẹ́ǹkan, màá fún wa ní debrief quickly. Remember I said Nigeria rank 150 above 180. Also, Nigeria is between 24/100. 43% of people thought corruption increased in the previous 12 months. That is between 2022 May to 2023 May. 44% of public service users. Tabani public service user. That means every Nigerian at some point within the last 12 months, wati pade eni tó jẹ́ into need and that even affect those of us in diaspora. At some point, we will have some, even if you have a British passport, American passport, some of you wants to go to Nigeria and you need a visa. Fento ní Nigerian passport. Tó bá lucky, tó sanwó bribe níbí báyìí. Tó bá dé Nigeria wá sanwó bribe. And all this is happening is because of the corruption that the constitution cannot tackle. And maybe Connie Baltimore, Katoa moves to the next slide because we're now 1 hour to the end of the program. What charge in your confirmed gift to Toba? What charge from perjury, theft, fraudulent, misappropriation, misconduct, stealing? Look up that gift to our former boyfriend. That is what corruption can do. And Miss South Korea, Bashe party tí ó wà níbẹ̀ nísìnyí tó ń pè ní People Power Party PPP, they will lose their majority seat nítorí pé ìyàwó prime minister wọn ó gba Christian Diobag ẹjẹ wo bí amọ̀kọ̀lẹ̀ fún ní ojú ẹ̀ka kan lójú ẹ̀. That is what corruption can do. But many Nigerians today and wonder why are you suffering? Kódà bí ṣe kọ díẹ̀ lásán sórí Google ètò gbé jáde nìyẹn, and this is ẹni tá à ń sọ àtọkọ àtìyàwó àwọn méjèèjì lélẹ̀. Báàgì lásán ló gbà, báàgì Christian Dior bag ẹ̀ ṣáà àwọn designer bag, báàgì lásán ló gbà tó di wàhálà sí lọ́rùn báyìí pé ìyàwó kò gba bag but kò ń ṣe bag lásán because corruption bag ni. So when we are here saying Nigeria is not going to work, you want to defend Nigeria, and like my brother Ijaya always say, you want to defend something that the terrorist wants to bring down. So that is on that. I'm going to play one more of the video of the Constitution while I'm preparing for the latest article from Matthew Carl into Baba Bakitoye so Kilo Kosino. So video while I'm getting that ready.
President Tinubu needs to put his best foot forward to govern the country. If he does that, in 4 years, he can turn things around. But there are certain critical things he would need to do. The first thing is to say, what's the constitution? If, for instance, me and my wife Lillian don't agree in our marriage of 45 years, then we can't do anything. So the first thing that President Tinubu will need to do is to ensure that Nigerians all agree to be one country. You recall that Bolagi asked those two questions. Do we want to be one? It's not by force. If we want to be one, how? We haven't answered those questions, which is why I told President Agbabi of the Senate that it has taken 23 years to solve the problem of the Constitution. And I urged him, in conjunction with President Tinubu, to resolve the Nigerian constitutional question now by inviting the owners of Nigeria. The owners of Nigeria, mark you, were those who owned Nigeria before Lugard brought his amalgamation in 1914. Call them in. These are the people who own the country, and ask them questions. What do you want to see of the Constitution? Because without a Constitution, we're going nowhere. And no one will doubt the fact that the Constitution bequeathed by the military in 1999 is unsatisfactory. You can't build anything out of a weak foundation. The economic development policy of President Tinubu, the political development policy of President Tinubu, and everything else he wants to do rests on a very solid foundation. So let him immediately resolve that. How can we spend 23 years looking for a foundation for building a house? Does that make sense to anybody? So that's my number one issue. We need to resolve this issue of, do we want to be one? And mark you, the flip side of the question is that we mustn't be one, because Yugoslavia, which was 6 countries under Marshal Tito, when he died, decided to break apart. And today, a lot of them are very strong countries: Macedonia, Croatia, Slovenia, Slovakia. They're all doing well. So there is no sacrosanctity about Nigeria being one country. There's none. I personally would wish for Nigeria to be one country, but we must agree. Now that is the problem. Because we have not agreed, and because the National Assembly has appropriated to itself the all-knowing wisdom of giving us a constitution, that is the weakness. So that's the starting point.
Well,
President Tinubu needs
that
to
is
put his best.
the senior advocate of Nigeria. We will continue to use that a lot in this program. I've got the message from Matthew Carr, but mo kí gbogbo èèyàn wa tẹ́ ń fi ẹ̀mí bá wa lọ. Mo fẹ́ mú just the intro àwọn kò mọ promise wọn pé tá bá ń ṣe program a máa play. So I'm gonna find out later, but ẹ jẹ́ kí n máa ká, hopefully kí n tó ṣàṣetán máa play. So let's go again. I'm gonna share the link tonight. Okay, I think I found it. Let's quickly listen to that. It's not that long, but 1 minute. No, they have an event coming up, and youths are launching their website. Community download it. So Ocean download. I'm gonna leave that way. So many of us must have come across the link. They ban follow Lori social media that Fẹ́yìn tẹ́ follow a máa tún link yẹn share sórí comment section. Tẹ́ bá ti rí ẹgbọ́wọ́lé kẹ́yìn náà lè tún kà. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa tẹ́ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Ọba Elédùmarè kò ní fi ìran Yorùbá sílẹ̀. Ẹ̀yà Yorùbá náà ẹ má bínú pé èèyàn àgbàlagbà wà lè pa òwe níwájú ẹni. Ó ń ṣọmọ lókù bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àní sí pẹ̀lú yẹ. Ìyá yìí máa wọlé ní oṣù tó ń bọ̀. Kò sí nǹkan tó lè dá dúró láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Gbogbo àdúrà tá lè gbà à ń gbà. Gbogbo tá lè ṣe à ń ṣe. Gbogbo ètùtù tá lè ṣe à máa ṣe. Àwẹ̀ tí wọ́n náà bá lè gbà, èmi náà ń gbàwẹ̀. Àwẹ̀ Kristẹni ó máa tán ní Sunday, ẹ̀yin ìjọsìn ojú tì 21 days. Àwa tá ń jọsìn lẹ́ẹ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan ẹ lọ máa ṣàdúrà. Now, let's come back to this because we're not really running out of time, but we still have about 15 minutes because it's now 2 hours, 10 minutes into the program. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI, the last man standing to educate Nigerians that there's nothing called Nigeria. It's one of the most fake country produced by the British colonialists. This is the headline by Matthew Carr again. Nigeria's upcoming BRICS exit push as violence swells. Exclusive one. So the safety domain so there's probability that you'll be reading more from him because every day is now getting much information about Awamo Yoruba. We hope that other medias that are international would also start picking on who we are so that we can really identify ourselves. Yes, our timbara was sorrow, but it is good now that we are getting this kind of opportunity that is not even to be paid for because they align with our cause. So let's read it. January 25th. So he wrote this yesterday at 1:26. So in the 26th day of January. Various groups in hashtag Nigeria are pushing for their own kind of BRICS exit. I love this headline. Ibi tẹ́tí máa rí pé ṣe rí pé gbogbo àtàwà tí ń sọ̀rọ̀ ṣe hàn pàwọ̀ tẹ̀ lóru kind of headline báyìí. Ẹ̀yin la ṣe sọ pé ọgbọ́n kì í tán síbì kan. Lóòótọ́ àwọn kan lè ṣì máa gí pé but ẹ̀yin náà lè máa ná gbọ́n kì í tán síbì kan. Ìyá kan dé máa sọ fún yín pé ìyá yẹn ò mú confam wá. Irọ́ ló bá dé confam tó wà lọ́dọ̀ tiẹ̀ nìyẹn. Irọ́ la bí. Irọ́ la bí. Ṣèbí mi tọkọ̀ mo lọ sílùú tí mídíà wọn wà. Adẹ̀ríra kó tó di pé Dagboru yìí dé. Èmi mọ̀ pé òun ò lè jáde lèmi ṣe lọ bá níbẹ̀. Àníyàn tá dẹ̀ sì nígbà náà ni pé ká máa travel at least àwa ta tẹ̀lé rìn díẹ̀. Èmi náà take mi ní 15 years kí n tó lè kúrò nílùú yìí. So kò ń ṣe pé a fi ń nàkẹ́. Ìlú tó wà yẹn kò lè jáde níbẹ̀. Tó bá jáde níbẹ̀ Nàìjíríà ló lè padà sí. So ó lè wá ọ̀nà míì pé òun fẹ́ fi jáde. Mo láwọn èèyàn níbẹ̀ tó ń gbé níbẹ̀ tó jẹ́ àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ wa níbẹ̀. Wọ́n ọ̀dẹ́ fún ẹni tí kò kí n ṣọmọ ìlú wọn. Ọmọ ìlú wọn gan wọ́n fún wọn ní visa lọ sílùú mi. Confirm ni mo sọ fún yín. Mo ní ìwé mi kò ń ṣe nísìn. Mo tẹ̀ tí draft ẹ̀ but ó wà lórí mi báyìí. Eléyìí tá a ṣe ń ṣe fídíò dọ́kúmẹ̀ntì yìí akọ̀mọ́ àdẹ̀mọ́ díẹ̀ ni àwọn kan mìta máa sọ lọ́jọ́ iwájú. Àwọn ọmọ ìlú wọn tó yẹ pé mo níyàn tó wà níbẹ̀ tó yẹ pé pálí ìlú yẹn ló ní wọ́n fún ní visa. Pálí ìlú yẹn ló ní ó sì ń gbé níbẹ̀ dọ́là á ti sùn nísìnyí because they are 3 hours ahead of us. Pálí ìlú yẹn ọmọ ìlú yẹn lòún fẹ́ pálí ìlú yẹn ló ní mo ní sọ̀lù tó lọ apply fún visa wọ́n fún ní visa kàmáà tí wàá sọ̀wọ́n tó gbé Nigerian passport dání Nigerian passport tó wà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ ó lè ti rìn ní ẹ̀bìkan embassy wà níbẹ̀ fraud start ẹni náà kí n tó lọ sí eré yẹn ẹjọ́ ti fi yẹn sílẹ̀ àwọn aṣọ yẹn lẹ́yìn wọn ń gbé jókòó lọ́gbọ́ kí ni tó ń sọ tó kúrò láàrin region ibi tó wà nínú ìlú tó wà yẹn kò kúrò nínú ibẹ̀ lọ́rọ̀ tó ń sọ èyí tèmi gan sọ ṣe fi pé gbogbo èèyàn ní Nàìjíríà ló ń gbọ́ ni there so many things táwọn èèyàn ń discuss tó bá jẹ́ pé ọ̀rọ̀ àlùfàǹṣá ni mò ń sọ nísìnyí táwọn sọ̀rọ̀ òkè àti ìsàlẹ̀ ni traffic yẹn á máa build lójoojúmọ́ so don't be fool à ń sọ̀rọ̀ gidi èyí àwọn òyìnbó lélẹ̀ nísìnyí tó àwọn ó ti bá bàbá Akíntóyè sọ̀rọ̀ ìyẹn máa ti ká wọn àti bàbá Akíntóyè wọ́n ti sọ̀rọ̀ níjẹta bàbá ti bá sọ àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ tó yẹ pé yes àwa lọ́mọ Yorùbá yẹn kan wá dé ó gbé fàbó kan lẹ̀ fún yín mo kí bàbá mi fọ́nbò òkun owó Eshegonisa. Let's go further. I spoke with Professor Banji Akintoye. Matthew Carl on sọ̀rọ̀ nísìn. Ẹ máa kí n ta fẹ́ kẹ́ lè gbádùn dáadáa ṣe jẹ́ kí n kà délẹ̀. I spoke with Professor Banji Akintoye, a renowned historian who wants self-determination for the Yoruba people. Full stop. A process is planned to set details of self-determination as soon as next month, such as deciding on the name of the new country, flag, coat of arms, he said. Some countries he declined to name as supportive of self-determination, and the United Nations might help, he said. The countries will speak about it when they are ready, he said, full stop. The basic problem is that Nigeria federal government is suppressing the Yoruba people and the injustice is mounting, he said. What will surprise many is the hashtag Yoruba people developed a sophisticated and clean and often full urban existence for hundreds of years, but their big mistake was trusting Britain. Trusting Britain was our biggest mistake, whose offer of protection in the 18th century actually turned out to be an exploitative racket causing, in part, violence, injustice, unrest that perceived today, Akintoye said. Let me read that again. What will surprise many is the hashtag Yoruba people developed a sophisticated and clean and often peaceful urban existence for hundreds of years. But their big mistake was trusting Britain, whose offer of protection in the 18th century actually turned out to be exploitative, racket causing, in part, violence, injustice, and unrest that is perceived today. Akintoye said, inflation is running above 20%. The debt repayment limits money available for taxpayers. Yoruba land, he had a map there. Let me see if I can quickly put the map behind for those of you that are watching us on the platform right now. Found map to look. It's a map of Nigeria, stroke Ghana, and I'll be, oh, why is it not giving me? Okay, I know what to do. Let me copy and then send it to Twitter, and then I'll download it back. A very good evening and welcome. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI. Please remember to love, share. You know, that is the only job you can help us to do so that more people, more Nigerians can be educated, and then we stop these, you know, shenanigans about trying to fix Nigeria. Nobody can fix Nigeria. It is just too late to fix Nigeria. So if anybody wants to fix Nigeria, you are wasting too much time and energy. So for those of you that are watching us right now on the software, you will see that there's a change in the background picture. I appreciate those of you on the Twitter. We are not on the Twitter space tonight, but we are live on Twitter and we are live on all the platforms. So I just want to get the picture out quickly so that we can then continue with the program. As we know, Tinubu has left Nigeria to France, I believe, for his medical care, but that is not going to be something that they will tell you. You know, what is the president going to be doing in France for 2 weeks if he's not looking after his health? He must not die, definitely, because if he dies, that means Shetima becomes the president, and that means it will be much more difficult as we continue to push the Yoruba people out of Nigeria. This is not a job for Koikimedia. This is a job for everyone, including those that still believe in Nigeria. So if you look at the maps now, you would notice that it has now been changed. So let's go further. Source, Wikipedia. Akintoye said initially the new state will probably not include the areas of Benin to simplify the self-determination. With such violence in the present-day Nigeria, a surge in the suicide by the young men, climate change, for instance, isn't seen as a big deal, he said. Yet, self-determination process will complicate United Nations climate negotiations, and a sense of historical and financial justice at home will allow the world's poorest to more confidently engage with and solve global problems when those solutions include tangible benefit, e.g., well-paying jobs, less pollution, low levels of corruption. Again, the word corruption, remember I told you that Nigeria ranked 150 to 180 when it comes to corruption index. So today, corruption is one of the biggest problems in Nigeria. Nigerians are too familiar. Corruption ranks, begs, brother questions around normative collapse. And that is also coming from a website called the Council Foreign Relations. So I'm going to come back to what they say. But again, I thought it's even 150. It has even come here from their own side. As at last year, it has gone to 154 to 180. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. Let's finish with Matthew Carl. Context. The numerically and politically major ethnic groups in Nigeria are Hausa, Fulani of the north, the Yoruba of the southwest, and the Igbo of the southeast. Wikipedia source. Thank you so much, Mr. Benson Adedire. Good morning, you say. Shout out to you, Mr. Balaji 14, and the rest of you that have joined us. Love the video. Many of you are not loving the video. 76 people are watching, only 44 have thumbs up. 17 watching on the backup channel, only 10 of you have. So 7 people refuse to thumbs up. Biata wati ya onidagboru niyen. Ṣé onidagboru lè ṣe thumbs up? You want to watch this program. You want to be educated. Boy, if a thumbs up. We know that you're under the program. I'm sorry if that upsets your heart. By Yoruba nation for now, okay? Nigeria is still running as a country. There is nothing called a declaration of Yoruba nation. You're living in denial. You're living in illusion. You don't even know what you're talking about. Makidadi wa fab, Egbomidada. Britain annexed Lagos in 1861. Aitigba Nigeria and established the Oil River Protectorate in 1884. Matthew Carl orúkọ ẹ follow ẹ lórí X. Very, very important. Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá gbọ́dọ̀ lọ follow arákùnrin because not just the Yoruba news, so it talks about so many other areas that is going to be of importance later. Thank you so much. Britain annexed Lagos in 1861, then established the Oil River Protectorate in 1884. Other European powers acknowledged Britain's dominance over the area in 1885. Berlin Conference, by the British Act of Parliament, Nigeria became independent on the 4th of October 1960. My conversation with Akintoye, please watch. It is a fascinating, ambitious self-determination project. Apologies for my sometimes ignorant question. Number 1, various groups in Nigeria, #Nigeria, are pushing for their own kind of BRICS exit. I spoke with Professor Banja Akintoye, a renowned historian who wants self-determination for the Yoruba people. A process is planned to set the details of the self-determination as soon as next month. So it takes me now straight to his Twitter handle, where he has also posted this particular information. Very, very important that we all go and support it. Okay, so wow. It has actually, okay, there's a video. So wow, I'm even seeing the video for the first time myself, you know. You'll be wondering, Koiki, will not pick video yet.
The Yoruba people.
Wow, we're gonna enjoy this more. I didn't see the video. I only read it up to, I think it's because I was a little bit engaged with my mom today. So there's a video of 46 minutes that he has done with Baba Akintoye. Interesting. And he went further. Okay, let me read this. So after that, thanks for the introduction, Mr. Koiki. So he actually acknowledged me for the introduction. So what we're gonna do is only 48 people have watched that video. It's unbelievable. Maybe because many of us do not know that there's a video. Let's first share the link. Thank you so much, Matthew Carl. I thought it was just a what's it called?
The British.
Mokiyawa Oluwatoyin Fatima Ekalema. Thank you so much. So what I'm gonna do, mo fẹ́ kí gbogbo wa pátá tá wà lórí thread lálẹ́ ẹni tó bá ní X click lórí link yẹn kẹ́tẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ lọ bá mi lórí tweet in tó ṣe yẹn because ṣẹ́rí àwa gangan la ní iṣẹ́ tó pọ̀ jù òun lè bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ kó fún wa ní push díẹ̀ táwa náà bá lọ ṣe push yẹn fúnra wa we will just be wasting our time. So I'm sharing the link now. Gbogbo wa pátápátá mo bẹ̀ wá mo rọ̀ wá ẹ lọ gbọ́wọ́lé link yẹn báyìí màá dẹ̀ share link yẹn sórí page mi a ní lè play gbogbo video yẹn tán délẹ̀ but I lo snip view lára ẹ̀. So while I'm doing that ẹ jẹ́ ká tún gbọ́ brother wa àbí no ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ àwọn advert ti bí báyìí mo bọ̀.
Yorùbá Nation Youth website gẹ́gẹ́ fi gbọ̀rọ̀ jẹ́ka fún àwọn ọ̀dọ́ nídìílé tó kó. La fi ń dúpẹ́ fún gbogbo àṣeyọrí àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n wa. A sì ti ń fàkókò ìbẹ́ níbẹ̀ fún gbogbo ayé wípé àdé Yorùbá Nation Youth website yìí máa di títí wọ́n nílò pẹ̀lú
I'm sharing the link out now. So for the color bọ̀wọ̀. Very, very important.
Lórí ìtàkùn afẹ́fẹ́ ayélujára Zoom meeting ID 820-917-915-98 nígbà tí passcode sì jẹ́ 787156. Olùgbàlejò pàtàkì ọjọ́ náà ni ọba wa emeritus Professor Banji Akintoye tí ọba Abímbọ́lá Akilẹ̀ Balógun sì jẹ́ chief launcher. Guest speaker ọjọ́ náà ni Akíta Akínlọ́lá George àti Honorable Ọláyẹyẹ. Fún ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé síwájú sí ẹ kàn sí wa látòrí www.yorubanationyouth.org.
So mo ti ń share sórí Facebook mi Dr. Gbọ́wọ́lé.
Lórí +971-525-261-442. Comrade Ọmọbórí Owó, youth coordinator and assistant youth leader in diaspora. Lórí +971-503-430-843. Bákan náà ni ẹlẹgbẹ́ Comrade Omeyo tí wọ́n jẹ́ Yorùbá Nation Youth Leader for Homeland. Lórí +234-703-717-3355. Àbíkẹ́gbẹ́ Prophet Ayọ̀délé Ológunolúwa tí wọ́n jẹ́ Yorùbá Nation Youth Leader in our diaspora. Lórí +1-803-846-1116. Ẹ má gbàgbé wípé lọ́kàn lẹ́yìn ìfilọ́lẹ̀ yìí ní ìkànnì náà máa di lílọ̀ fún gbogbo àwọn ọ̀dọ́ jákèjádò àgbáyé. Bákan náà ni a máa ṣe àfihàn lọ́jì tó bá ń lọ live lórí Yorùbá World Media, Home Base Media, Yíyí Dára
A máa fi sórí community wa náà lórí YouTube.
Sókè nípa òmìnira orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Níbi ìkójáde Yorùbá Nation Youth website yìí, gbogbo ọ̀dọ́ Yorùbá pátá lálejò pàtàkì nítorí wípé gbogbo wa là ń retí ń bẹ́ẹ̀. Olùkéde Prophet Ayọ̀délé Ológunolúwa fún gbogbo àwọn ọ̀dọ́ Yorùbá pátá.
So that is on that the other version of this as well.
Yorùbá Nation Youth website gẹ́gẹ́ fi gbọ̀rọ̀ jẹ́ka fún àwọn ọ̀dọ́ nídìílé tó kó. La fi ń dúpẹ́ fún gbogbo àṣeyọrí àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n wa. A sì ti ń fàkókò ìbẹ́ níbẹ̀ fún gbogbo ayé wípé àdé Yorùbá Nation Youth website yìí máa di títí wọ́n nílò pẹ̀lẹ́gẹ́dẹ́ ọjọ́ àbámẹ́ta ọjọ́ Sátidé tó jẹ́ ọjọ́ kẹwàá oṣù kejì ọdún 2024. Bẹ̀rẹ̀ látago 5 ìrọ̀lẹ́ Lagos time lórí ìtàkùn afẹ́fẹ́ ayélujára Zoom meeting ID 820-917-915-98 nígbà tí passcode sì jẹ́ 787156. Olùgbàlejò pàtàkì ọjọ́ náà ni ọba wa emeritus Professor.
Ẹ jẹ́ ká fi hàn sílẹ̀, eléyìí wà important, we'll come back to that, not that eléyìí náà wà important. Like somebody was saying there, kí gbogbo wa ká comment, mo ti share link yẹn sí gbogbo tí mo lè share sí. For now, we beg you, this is a great opportunity for every single one of us. We need to go and share this. So what I'm going to be doing now is mo fẹ́ wo bí ṣe lè gbé link yẹn wá lọ sí orí WhatsApp. So we're going to play a little bit. It's 46 minutes. It would be nice we can log the page it here gongon. It's a Twitter handle Ibeloti Pushesi. We will not use all the video because of the copyright. I'm sure you all understand what that means. So again, we want to appreciate him. So I could do that, but it's not worth it. So it is our job to go there and comment, tweet, send it out. Video it. I mean, you see, any group. This is the kind of video that I can post in the same. Copy link here, you see Google platform here. So I'm going to start playing a little bit from it, but like I said, I will only play just a very, very snip view. So let's start with what at least earlier in social interview here. So let's start with the video like this. Enter one lori Koikimedia Odudua. You might okay. Let me see if I can play it from here. But then you copy link here, not jadi. But if I play with laptop, enter one in Kenya and so no. You might not be able to see. So if I will be my global linking at everything that anything. Okay, for me linking. So we need to copy linking on its own. So we need to copy linking. Okay, we go learn can see we akujoko. So what in be me sorry Twitter láti be by. So my retrieve the link. So my share that as a WhatsApp message. So I to just call ya found you to reconcile. Not the wanted to get with more than so go when you pata. There by Twitter no. I'm sure pé ẹ ṣe lè níbẹ̀ ṣe lè wò náà tẹ́ bá click lórí link yẹn. I will not download the video from his own, not that I can't do it, but I'll prefer us to go and watch it straight from his own channel. So I'm trying to get the link for me to freeze. Okay. So if not, Timba ti ṣe nísìn máa ṣe ti bá parí program pẹ̀lú àwọn phone to better. So eléyìí ń ṣe. Okay, let me see if I can just copy the link from here. Share. So after in a link I put it on the need. So okay, material, yeah. Okay, material. So I can share link, you can copy link. So I'm at wallet to be by any symbol. And then I can send the site now. So my deck story status me. Okay, now it will be easy for everybody. So I'm gonna share see when about till restrict we can knock about our share sita. We are still almost within our time frame. We are 2 hours 31 minutes. So multi share lobby. So when debating back by day, my share sorry Koikimedia and Tobashi are waking, please push it out as quickly as possible. And debatting the status me lori studio number can go only. Link and daddy, so I might have to copy the link on its own because what the project to cut 600 700 page. So let me do it back. So I can copy link here and they come. No. So I'm about video in a minute because could copy link and link on. So it's a motive story status me. So a job law. Gbogbo ẹ̀ tẹ́ bá ní studio number mi ẹ kọ lọ sórí status mi nísìn kẹ́ lọ gbọ́ wọlé the last link tí mo fi síbẹ̀. Very very important, you know, because this is a great publicity for us. Àwa náà la sọ pé àwọn wá publicity náà ní ara Yoruba nation is very very important and we are almost there. So gbogbo ẹ̀ tó bá ti ń bá fídíò ìpàdé ẹ bá wa share. That is the only thing we can give back to him by going to watch it. And I think let me refresh here, see more people joining to watch it from there. Program at least share. Very, very important that every one of us share that link out. So I think so far, let me leave it like that for now. Because only 94 people so far. So key point and Yoruba nation. Share free interview. So now let me play just the sneak view. I will not play everything. You have to go and watch it. You know my falaba level. Because even though I watch a video, so I didn't even look at it from that point. So let's now go with this like this. So my dad was seeing by anything. Click pause on roll lower. The phone is slow there. Could have gone on new phones. Fashion anything. Can see prof already from the laptop. If I play the laptop, I want to Lori Koiki on it. So if not, I might end up playing from the laptop. Let me do it this way. Okay, I can do it this way. Again, what's relay software anymore? So I'm gonna pick everybody. Yeah. Let me use this laptop. So the laptop okay, tẹ́ bá fẹ́ rojú ẹ̀ agbójú yẹn wá sórí laptop so window capture, so that way I can show us. Yeah, so wà lórí bíbá ẹ̀ láǹfààní àti rẹ̀ tí mò ń sọ nísìn. So now let me release the audio from here. So audio I'm pick from everybody. So
how are you, Professor?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so yesterday we had a good preliminary chat, and you were saying that in the middle of next month, in the middle of February, there's going to be some important process for the self-determination of the Yoruba people. Can you describe what that process is for our viewers?
We started by saying that our self-determination struggle was going to be peaceful, and it has been peaceful all the way. Big rallies in all our cities, and we have collected a signature to a petition, 5 million signatures to a petition of the Yoruba people seeking demanding the self-determination and sovereignty and separation from Nigeria. This month we are going to be moving into a higher level of, we don't want to let the, what we don't call them enemies, but they are like enemies. Get ready for us to stand in our way. But what will happen is going to be totally different from what you've seen before. And it's going to raise the awareness and the strength of our self-determination struggle very, very high.
Okay.
And yeah.
And so you mentioned the number 5 million. Now the Yoruba people, they cover about, I've seen differing estimates, but is 40 million or 48 million people? Is that about the right range?
Well, about 50 million.
So about 50 million people. So 5 million out of 50 million, is that enough?
No, what we did is just a sample to let the world know that this is not a handful of people that are fighting for this, that there are many, many more. If we want to collect the signatures of 20 million adults, we can do it. We can do it within a month.
Okay. And so just if you take a helicopter view here, what's going on? I mean, what you said yesterday, and it was very informative for me, is that this self-determination process has been a long time coming, and it's basically all about sort of a rejection of the decisions that the colonialists made when they colonized Nigeria. Can you just talk about the arc of why this needs to happen? Because there's lots of violence going on in Nigeria and around right now, right?
Yeah, we Yoruba, we are the largest single ethnic nation in Africa, in Black Africa. We are the single largest. Our territory is larger than that of Britain, the United Kingdom, and many times the sizes of various European countries that are playing important parts in the affairs of the world. And we are, by the grace of God, one of the most educated people in the world today, because we jumped at education when it was first brought by the missionaries, the middle of the 19th century, and we advanced very far. By 1860, we were already producing university graduates in all fields of academics. And the first newspaper to be published anywhere in Africa was published in our city of Abeokuta in 1859. And by the time the British came and were going...
All right. Like I said, I will prefer we watch the full interview from Matthew Carr Twitter handle. It will be of a benefit for us and for him as well. So I will not play more than the 4 minutes I've actually played. I will be watching the whole clip after the end of this broadcast myself, because I didn't even realize that there was a full, I thought it was just a, an interview through the, I only read the article, but I didn't take myself back to his Twitter to realize that there was a full clip of an interview, which is 46 minutes, 13 seconds. So I will be watching it myself after the end of the program. So let's leave that and come back into the program. Let's again appreciate, Matthew Carl for taking it upon himself, to find out who we are. And this is the reason why we are saying we are different. I don't want anybody to thank me. Let us just thank Eledumare for the job he's doing in terms of the movement. That is just a sneak view. To wrap it up, there's still more coming. Okay? There's more coming. It's just a matter of time. So I'm just 20 minutes to the end of the program. Let me just a quick review or summary of some because of the time constraint. So what I'm going to do now is just what I called a snip view of what we've talked about. Once again, today is now the 26th of January 2024 as we continue our campaign to the right of the Yoruba people to self-determination. We are not secessionists. We are not separatists. We are those calling for self-determination. Let me remind every sons and daughters of Yoruba to go again to the Twitter handle of Matthew Carl. But if you're finding him on Twitter, it will be at Karzee, Carrzee. And you can watch the full interview he granted to the leader of the Yoruba self-determination, Professor Adebanji Akintoye. He spoke with Baba Akintoye for 46 minutes 13 seconds. Fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tó bá láǹfààní àti gbọ́ ọ́díò tí a tún fi síta ní wákàtí lórí ètò Koikimedia. Bàbá wa ṣe interview pẹ̀lú Matthew Carl lórí Twitter tí a mọ̀ sí X. Tẹ́ bá ń wá lórí X àbí Twitter táwọn kan ṣì ń pè at Karzee, spelling Carrzee. Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tó bá ní Twitter or X, mo bẹ̀ wá, mo rọ̀ wá ká lọ open ẹ̀ torí pé ibẹ̀ ni engagement pọ̀ sí when it comes to up-to-date and daily information. Kí ni nǹkan tí bàbá sọ gbogbo ẹ̀ lẹ máa gbádùn nínú ẹ̀, but ó tún ní article tó kọ náà lé lórí tí màá sáré sọ díẹ̀ nínú ẹ̀ nínú nǹkan tó kọ Nigeria's upcoming BRICS exit push as violence swells. I spoke with Professor Banji Akintoye, a renowned historian who wants self-determination for the Yoruba people. A process is planned to set details of self-determination as soon as next month, such as deciding on the name of the new country, the flag, the coat of arms, he said. Some countries they declined to name as supportive of self-determination, and the United Nations might help, he said. The countries will speak about it when they are ready, he said. The basic problem is that Nigeria federal government is suppressing the Yoruba people and the injustice is mounting, he said. Africa could be the most populous region by the end of century, rivaling Asia. What will surprise many is the Yoruba people develop a sophisticated and clean and often peaceful urban existence for hundreds of years. But their big mistake was trusting Britain, whose offer of protection in the 18th century actually turned out to be an exploitative, racketeering, causing violence, injustice, and unrest perceived today. Akintoye said that is a message on Koikimedia. So that is an audio that I've just produced that will also be in circulation. It's 3 minutes as well. Mokiawa Fatima Mustafa Mufi Teledumare Kibubo Intia Darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ní orí ètò títí àṣálẹ́. I hope you've learned one or two things, but let me remind us again, corruption is a disease. Corruption continues to kill many lives directly or indirectly. Should we still refuse to leave Nigeria, we are likely to be consumed by corruption. Let us move away from Nigeria today so that we can have a better life inside a country of our own. Àwọn kan lè argue pé ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ ń sọ yìí ó lè má yá níbẹ̀ ṣe ń sọ. It does not matter in tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ within the next 30-40 years. I've started today. Ẹ jẹ́ ká máa rántí pé àwọn bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀, They were in their 40s when they pushed and pushed and pushed. Eventually, Britain succumbed and gave them independence in 1960. It wasn't an easy task. It took a lot of draft. It took a lot of traveling from Africa, Nigeria down to Europe during 1957-58 in the cold weather. We end up to know that the British government, as at the time, rigged the election to favor the northern part of Nigeria. Nigeria is never going to work. Nigeria remains a very corrupt country, as we say. Let me give you again the corruption index as at what the Council on the Foreign Relations says about Nigeria. The Council on Foreign Relations in February 24th, 2022 at exactly 2 p.m. EST. The headline says, Nigeria's all too familiar corruption ranking begs broader question around normative collapse. Nigeria's endemic corruption is the country's greatest challenge to its stability, despite effort from the government, which raises questions about Nigerian institution ability to tackle corruption. Neither the latest Transparency International TI Corruption Perception Index, which ranked Nigeria 154 out of 180 countries, nor the government reaction to the ranking could have come as a surprise to any long-term observer of Nigerian affairs. Released last month, the 2021 Corruption Perception Index, CPI, confirmed what many Nigerians know intuitively, that a steady stream of official anti-graft rhetoric has hardly made a dent on what many agree is the most formidable perennial challenge to the country's long-term stability. Then the former President Muhammadu Buhari's sentiment to the effect that if Nigeria does not kill corruption, then corruption will kill Nigeria is widely shared. Not only is Nigeria down 5 places from its 2020 ranking, its total score of 24 out of a maximum 100 point represent a drop for the third successive year, making it the West Africa's second most corrupt country. Again, Nigeria remained the second most corrupt country in Africa. Guinea-Bissau, still reeling from the failed military takeover in the early February, holds the dubious honor of being the most corrupt. So lately, 26th of January 2024, this article Timonka, in case tí bá gbọ́ audio yìí lórí ètò tá à ń ṣe lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ ní aago méjì òru fílọ́lù ni a ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí. Ẹni tó bá fẹ́ confirm website www.cfr.org. For Nigerians, the global anti-graft observation that most countries are in fact struggling, and specifically that 131 countries have made no significant progress against corruption over the last decade, that's 10 years, offers only a cold comfort. Official reaction to the ranking was predictable. According to the then presidential spokesperson Garba Shehu, described the report as sensational and baseless. Now, Buhari law, we now realize that 8 years was a failure. Koikimedia, bringing the work closer to your doorstep. So I'm just doing a small short 3-minute audio clip so that we can share that and circulate that as it makes things easy. And that's again part of what we're going to be doing more. I hope I'll remember each time I'm on my program as well. So the bamba on audio kekeke about push it as much as possible. Like I said, thank you so much. I think I saw, if I'm right, yeah, I'm very right. Yawa Comfort Ologunja Osare Kojalenko with a super chat, and you went on to say, well done again. So let me pick your comment very well from the laptop here. You went on to say, good day. What is the current index for 2024 regarding corruption in Nigeria? I don't think they will have the 2024 yet. Let's have a look. Because Itakalenko was the 20. Let me go back again. Nigeria Corruption Index. I think we can't get the 2024. It will be too early to get the 2024. So I think you get a year, before. So there's no way you can get the 2024. We're still having the 2022 on their website. So I think they're the 2024. So if I say what 2024, So that is for 2023. So there's no way you can have the 2024 because we're just in 2024. So the 2023 will probably be ready towards the middle of this year. So the last one there is 2022. So which is the one I've just read now. So anyway, thank you so much everyone for joining again tonight. We hope that we remember, as always, that corruption is an epidemic. It can take life easily, and we can see that kí terrorists wọnú ilé kó jí ọmọ àti bàbá àti ìyàwó, what if it prove pé tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá wá 60 million, tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá wá kíní kan million, àwọn máa pa ọmọ yín, ọmọ lójú ayé wa máa rí wọ́n pa ọmọ yẹn, ọmọ 13 years old. This is not a movie. The terrorists literally killed 2 different family children. Lóòótọ́ wọ́n ti gbà wọn kan sílẹ̀. This is happening in Nigeria. I don't know whether some of you have seen the video. We can't post all this video on the Facebook because of Facebook is very, very strict. But Twitter allow I can post it. So the ball sorry Twitter wa ní Plateau State what all this is not just about the full and Latifikuro in Nigeria, because I'm now pressed with time. I think I have about 9 minutes left because the latest of 9 minutes. So what we are saying is that all this is happening because there's a corrupt pandemic that has killed Nigeria and is still making Nigeria to be backwards. So again, if you're waiting for the military to come and save you, you will wait till thy kingdom come, because the military is already compromised. And as we always say, Nigeria will never work again because there's just an agenda to keep us together. So this is the last video that we're going to push before we end the program.
See, this state is under assault. There's an attempt at ethnic cleansing in this state and, of course, in all the riverine states of Nigeria. We must resist it. We must stop it. Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
We pray we're not going to die one by one. We continue to pray for the family of everyone that lost their life at the bomb blast in Ibadan a week ago. It is very, very emotional, especially with not just because a Londoner went to Ibadan and he died. Also, Ento and Leto Kuno, the family will not be burying him in Nigeria. They'll be returning the body back to London for a proper burial. As soon as I have a date, I'll be communicating that back to every single one of us. You might say it's not going to happen, but in our lifetime, we're seeing things that we've never seen before, from the ritualists happening in Yoruba land to the drugs by the Igbos. The Hausas are saying they're now getting angry because they're no longer in power. They're not comfortable with what Bola Tinubu is doing. Nobody checkmate Buhari when he was there. Whatever Tinubu is doing, he has the right to do it. He's the current president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. If he wants to steer the ship anyhow, it's entirely up to him. But he only has a maximum 4 years. The Northerners are saying they're not going to give him their vote again in 2027 when he comes back. So we hope, for those of you that believe him, he will do something. Personally, myself, I don't trust Bola Tinubu. I cannot trust him from there to there because I don't think I should trust him. So Yoruba Nation has nothing to do with Tinubu, but we would also negotiate with him because he's the current president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. If you're waiting for Nigeria to be a better country, you will wait till thy kingdom come, because nothing good will ever come out of Nigeria. Not that we will not have the indigenous people, whether Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, that we're doing very well in academic, in whatever, but in terms of a collective country, we will hate each other till thy kingdom come. So the best option is, let's go our separate ways. I got to go to bed now. Thank you so much for spending the evening with me. If I haven't mentioned your name, don't be upset. Maybe you didn't comment. Maybe you should comment. Share the program, like it, cut it, slice it. And like I said, Koikimedia is doing some test transmission from another location outside Nigeria, where you'll be reading more of our papers. I'm engaged during the day as we speak right now. I'm not currently on the Star Radio because I'm doing some project behind the scene, but make sure you continue to listen to Archie at 11 o'clock, where he continues to give you the update. But at the appropriate time, I'll be back again. But for now, I'm doing some project that will be of benefit to not just Yoruba Nation, but benefit to myself and the humanity as well. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí ẹ máa ní òyìnbó yìí ti pọ̀ jù, ẹ má bínú sí wa. Mo kí ọmọdé, mo kí àgbàlagbà. Ẹ jẹ́ ká rántí pé next month is Igbo's mother's burial. If you want to support him directly, let us know. There's a way we can give you the details. If you want to send a message through myself, you are well done, welcome to do so. Mo kí our comfort Ológunjà, ẹ bá ń kí àǹtí náà. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní gbogbo àgbáyé. Ẹ máa rántí wa nínú àdúrà ní gbogbo ìgbà. Àdúrà ni oúnjẹ tí wọ́n need. Gbogbo ẹni tó ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ò ní bọ́ nínú wàhálà tó wà nínú ẹ̀, irọ́ lẹ pa. A máa tú gbogbo tẹ́fì dé, spiritually, physically, emotionally, gbogbo ẹ̀ la máa tú kúrò lára ẹ̀. Gbogbo ẹni tẹ́ ní ẹ fẹ́ Nàìjíríà kò yé yín ni, tó yé yẹn bá yé yín, ẹ sá fún Nàìjíríà. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ gbogbo ilé nǹkan sí o. Salamu alaikum fún gbogbo ẹ̀yin Mùsùlùmí. Àbọ̀rọ̀ àbọ̀yè fẹ́yìn tèmi àwọn ọmọ èṣù. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, what God cannot do does not exist. If náà wà náà wẹ̀ pẹ̀lú yín o, àdúrà wa gbà. I'm not fighting religion. I am fighting for my people, Yoruba people. Ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn la máa sùn. Good night. Kabega, kabega. Ìgbàgbọ́ láti bẹ̀rù, kàṣiṣẹ́, kàṣiṣẹ́, kàṣiṣẹ́. Ìṣọ̀kan, ṣàkóso òmìnira. Ìkẹjẹ ká máa lépa. Tẹ̀síwájú, ọ̀pọ̀ ire. Ó dàárọ̀ gbogbo lóhùn. Ẹ ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ àwọn Fátímà. Ó dàárọ̀ mọ́. Ó dẹ̀ lálágbára Ọlọ́run. Bàbá mi Kúnlé Ṣíkà, thank you so much. Ó dàárọ̀ mọ́ sí ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ la máa sùn. Easy. Ó ṣe ẹ̀gbọ́n mi. Grandma, ó dàárọ̀. Ẹ̀yin ti Facebook. Ìṣe gbogbo àwọn. Àwọn Koikimedia team tó ètí sùn ní kiri wọn. Ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ la máa sùn. So as you all know, we close the broadcast one at a time with no problem. Busy. Send me an email. So in case you need all the details, and then I will pick it from there. Good night. Bye. The Cant already makes a lot. Acting games. Good night. Along iwájú Táyọ̀ ọ̀gbọ́n mi dàrọ̀. Ìjára ní kí ẹ dàrọ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ subscribe pẹ̀lú Twitter Ọláyéyàn, ó wà important. Good night. Ẹ ṣé gan ni ẹ kú fẹ́ o. Grandma Comfort, ó dàrọ̀ mọ́. Good night everybody. Tomorrow is another day. Ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn la máa sùn.